My parents won't stop playing favorites with their grandkids, so I refuse to help them.
Hey, I play favorites with my grandkids. I play not favorites with my parents. Yeah.
Am I the a-hole for taking all the stuff I provided to my parents for my kids? Background, my parents have always favored one grandchild over the others, and it has been shown since day one. By the way, this comes from ItchyAd6392 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Granddaughter, Abby, spoiled one, and granddaughter, Brie, mine, younger, are a couple of months apart in age. It's fun and nice to have cousins close in age, but my parents have always had more to do with Abby. They have always seen her more and do more with her than Brie, despite us both living in the same town. Last week, me and my family, spouse, son, and daughter, were invited over to my parents for dinner to celebrate my birthday. After getting there, my mom informs me my siblings and their family is joining us too. I say, oh, I didn't know that. She then says, well, figured you want to celebrate with everyone. Sure, it's fine. Problem though is my mom doesn't have stuff at her house for all the kids. Example, she's the only one that has a high chair, but there's 2 kids at dinner that need a high chair. Had she told me they were coming, I could have brought one, but didn't inform me. Therefore, granddaughter Abby got to sit in the high chair up on the table with us, and I had to sit with my daughter in my lap and try to eat. Meanwhile, we're celebrating my birthday, and I'm having a hard time even eating. It was annoying.
Yeah, it sounds annoying having to eat with a kid in your lap. That's why they make those chairs. They're like little restraint. They're like little straitjackets for kids, just so they can eat without escaping and running away. You know how parents understand. Yeah, they are literally. It's like a little mini jail. It's a food jail.
I had 2 brothers that I had to do this with. 2 kid brothers.
Would you call it food jail?
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
food
Sometimes.
jail.
Cake jail when it was their first birthday.
Cake. Oh yeah.
Then on Thanksgiving, we show up to my parents, and we're over an hour late due to my mom never actually telling me a time we're supposed to be there. I guess based on previous years, which would have put us on time. They waited for us to eat, but then again, there's only 1 high chair and 3 kids there on the holiday who need one. And my mom says, okay, granddaughter Abby, get in the high chair. No questions of who's going in the high chair or if they're going to take turns. Nothing. I'm annoyed. They all waited over an hour supposedly for us to get there to eat, but no one said anything to me needing to bring a high chair. I was already bringing a lot to Thanksgiving and didn't think I needed to bring that too, thinking she would tell others to bring theirs since they weren't bringing as much as me. Okay, whatever. My daughter's ignored like always. Then looking at the table to eat, and she doesn't have enough plates set out. At that point, I said, "Screw it. I'm leaving. Clearly, we're not thought of, and I don't feel welcome." I pack up the kids and get them out to the car to leave. My son is saying he wants to stay and eat, and my spouse says they'll take him in so they can eat. I say that's fine. I'm not going back in. I stay in the vehicle, scrolling social media while they go eat. My dad comes out and tells me to grow up and take responsibility. I told him y'all sat here for how long knowing there's 1 high chair and none of you thought to message me or call me and let me know to bring mine? He said, enough of the blame game. Take responsibility for not bringing yours.
I mean, it's not really that fair.
It's not that fair.
It's Thanksgiving. She's got this kid. It's like, do you know how hard it is to wrangle a small child on a holiday when you've got meals and food you're also trying to bring?
And Dad, it's not about the high chair. You have to look deeper than this.
Right.
It's not the high chair.
It's the baseline disrespect that is being shown to OP and her child.
Yep.
Just disregard.
I said, how about granddaughter Abby goes without it since they didn't bring one either? I supply you and mom with all kinds of things for my kids to make it easier on you, yet I'm still expected to do and bring more because what I give is used for others. And I don't care as long as my kids are getting what they need. He told me whatever, take your crap, and I said I will. So I did. I took everything I've given them to have for my children when they are there. Car seats, baby gates, toys, cups, plates, toothbrushes, diapers, wipes, everything that was mine.
You're going to have to learn how to go without now.
And Abby's going to cry. Now being told I'm the a-hole and I hurt the other kids because I took my stuff back I had there for my kids. And I'm being blamed because one of the kids actually got hurt because I took the baby gate. And I feel bad a kid got hurt, but I also don't feel I'm responsible for that, like they're saying.
Okay, wait, pause, because taking the baby gate, that might have just been one step too far. You could take all the other stuff. You don't take the safety equipment. But it is proving the point where it's like, oh, well, why didn't you bring your own baby gate? Like, that would be the exact same logic that's being thrown at her.
Yeah.
So it does make it clear that it's not fair.
Yeah.
But don't take the baby gate. For future reference, don't take the baby gate.
Mm-hmm. I'm responsible for my kids, not others, even when they benefit from what I do for my kids. And when I was told to take my stuff, I did. I feel like they just use me for what I do or supply what makes it easier for them. But none of them realize how much it is until it's gone, and they blame me because they don't have it. So, am I the a-hole for taking my stuff after my dad told me to? And we got a freaking update, y'all.
Ooh, are we going to dive into it right now?
We can dive in right now.
All right, let's go.
High chair is my mom's, so she wanted to add some details. High chair is my mom's that she got for her house. She has a few things for the kids, but I supplied a big chunk of her things for her. I believe it's my responsibility to make sure my kids have whatever they need whenever they are there. I didn't care if any other kids benefited from what I brought, with the condition that it's mine and my kids get to use it and the others can have it when they are present. So I left everything at my parents' house for them to have whenever they needed it for any kid. In my core, I want all kids to be happy, healthy, and safe. Anyone who knows me, I will go above and beyond for a child. I double check car seats for parents. I buy diapers and wipes if parents need it. I make sure kids have something on their birthday to know they are thought of and loved. I love with all of my heart and I give my all, and I know that screws me at times. So believe me when I say I was crushed and hurting when my sister-in-law texting me, a child was hurt because you took your baby gate. That's what made me come to Reddit. I questioned everything I did because of that one statement. So thank you to those that told me not to, and it was not my fault. There's a lot of talking that happened with me and my mom about Thanksgiving. I told her, you and dad need to make a plan to have food ready by 1 p.m. if you are wanting to eat by 3 p.m. because you guys are always running late, lol. She laughed and agreed with me. Therefore, I interpreted that food was being ready by 3 p.m., not 1 p.m. She never did tell me a time again, so I planned for the normal 3 p.m. time that I've done my entire life. We talked on the phone 3 times that day and various things in regards to Thanksgiving, but being told to bring a high chair was not one of them. If you ask my siblings, I'm the spoiled rotten favorite, being the youngest. They also refuse to see me as an adult and not a child, so if anything happens, I can be blamed, and I am. Being in therapy for the majority of my adult life, I've learned my family is abusive or has abusive tendencies. So I've learned they manipulate me by telling me, you're the spoiled one, you're the baby, you're the favorite, and you could be our favorite every weekday at 3 p.m. PST when you join us live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok.
Boom.
Just tap our profile.
You'll be our baby. We don't care.
Is OP actually the spoiled one here? Or are we being abusive?
Well, there's no way to know for a fact because we don't have the full context of like her entire upbringing or anything. But like, it doesn't feel spoiled to just be like, why? Come on, guys. Someone should have given me a heads up. I needed a high chair here. Then it's like, and why is... I don't necessarily know if what we've read can be classified as like, my grandparents are clearly playing favorites with like this one kid, like Abby, just getting in the high chair. It's like, I don't know. It seems like, I'm sure there's other contexts in which that's happened, but like there is a point to like, if this has happened in the past and you've had a situation where it's like the high chair's not there. Well, you should be aware that you might need the high chair, but also this is Thanksgiving. You've got probably a lot of other stuff going on. If you're bringing food, it's understandable that might go by the wayside, especially if there's a bunch of people there who could give you the heads up. Hey, by the way, we don't have 3 high chairs, so you might want to bring yours. Would have been nice, so I can understand that. Yeah. But then also taking the baby gate.
I say that's too far.
I get wanting to prove your point. But that one, like, you could have taken everything else and not the baby gate.
Cross the line.
That's
Do with the other hand.
Why can't I do this? Crossing the line. There we go.
There we go.
I really couldn't figure that out.
We're going to finish this up. A few people said to go to my in-laws for family functions. My in-laws are beyond worse than my own family. The favoritism is extreme. Mother-in-law doesn't like me because I took her baby boy away from her. Oh my gosh. But that's a whole different can of worms. Needless to say, I'm very low contact with them. And after this post, I'm going to be low contact with my own family. I'll update after I talk to my parents about it all, and I'll let y'all know and I'll let y'all know how they take being told me and my family will be going low contact.
And that is the end of that story.
Good move, OP. That's tough. Very tough thing to do.
But also, OP, you should apologize for the baby gate incident.
Yeah.
You should apologize. If a kid got hurt because you took the baby gate, you need to
apologize.
Profusely apologize for that. Because it's kind of, that was a high school type of move to do, especially knowing that it's there to keep a baby safe. It's there to keep kids safe. So,
Yep. That's the end.
That is the end of that story.
My dad's girlfriend keeps stealing from weddings. Now I don't want to invite them.
That's fair.
Fair. I, 47 female, and my dad is 79. Let's start off with, I love my dad. Even after all of this, I love him. But I don't want to speak to him. That's complicated. I do have daddy issues from things I've been through in my life with him and his mentality, but I do love him very much and invite him to everything we do, and even just dinner out for no reason. His wife, on the other hand, is a challenge. By the way, this comes from Big Introduction 3393 on the OK Storytime subreddit. So, my mom and dad got divorced when I was 11, and they both moved on. So this isn't I hate the new wife because of a divorce. Years later, 20, my mom was, oh my God, unalived, and my dad's second wife passed away from complications from dementia.
Oh my
While his
gosh.
second wife was sick, his now third wife came around a lot to help him out with her. My dad went to church with this lady and has since I was born. At family functions with the new third wife, we noticed she was a little different. My first time at their house, I realized very quickly that she is a hoarder. So at kids' birthday parties, she would take the extra plastic silverware and plates and napkins and stick them in her purse at every function. After my dad and her would leave, we would discuss it among ourselves that I wonder if she has a mental issue. The last party, there were no plastic silverware left, and she dug them out of the trash. You know what? Maybe environmental conscious.
Sure.
My daughter got engaged last year, and when we started planning the very elaborate wedding, I spoke to my dad several times in a very nice way to talk to Sally and let her know that she isn't to take any of the silverware or table decorations. At one point, we had a sample table set up, and my dad saw it. I said, Daddy, make sure to talk to Sally and make sure she understands she can't take any items from the wedding except the guest thank you gift. My dad made a joke about how much Sally would love the table decorations and blew me off. I was stressed that for months that Sally would take items at the wedding, and I again reiterated to my dad to talk to her or leave her at home. Rehearsal dinner night. Rehearsal dinner was at the venue, and everything was set up for the wedding the next day. I was eating and looked up to see Sally grab a huge stack of napkins and put them in her purse. Napkins that were for both days and were special ordered for the wedding, not just plain store-bought napkins. I was so upset that I just got up and walked outside so I wouldn't cause a scene. For the wedding, they weren't having alcohol, so they set up a hot cocoa and coffee bar. That sounds great. Which was for the wedding, but already set up the night before. While I was outside trying to calm down, one of our family members came out and told me Sally was taking items from the hot cocoa bar, cups, coffee stirs, and the cocoa sticks dyed in peppermint. My oldest daughter walked over and politely, I have witnesses, told her those items were for the wedding. Sally threw the items down on the counter, threw her hands up, and huffed and walked back to her table.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think you just have to, if she's coming to an event, you just got to lock everything down.
Yeah.
You just got to put it away.
Just lock up the stirs.
Yeah.
Do we know how old Sally is?
She's at least 79-ish.
Sounds
around
like
there.
it sounds like an old person way to act.
Yeah, she's like, it's mine. I really like this. Thank you.
You won't let me do what I want to do.
I can't do anything.
That really does. It reminds. Yeah, it reminds me.
Old people. When I came back in to address the issue with my dad, he was on his way out. He has had enough of my kids, 24 and 22, behavior and how his wife was just treated. I very quietly told my dad that we had discussed this and that she wasn't to leave with anything. His response to me was that my daughter, not the one getting married, had no business speaking to his wife the way she did, and that if we didn't want items taken, we should have had a sign stating that. I told my dad I wasn't wrong, they were, and they continued to leave as I went to fix the drink station. 5 to 10 minutes went by, and I noticed my daughter, the bride, was missing along with my husband and the other daughter. The bride followed my dad out and said he shouldn't leave in that manner, and that's when things went south. My dad grabbed the bride by her arm, stuck his finger in her face, and said, "You're nothing but a spoiled, rotten brat, and you're ruined with no fixin' ya." This guy sucks.
Whoa.
Bride grabbed his finger out of her face and told him the only reason he's still standing was out of respect. She's like, "I'm going to freaking knock you out."
Oh.
An out-of-town family member that didn't know it was the bride's grandfather stepped in between them. My dad turned around to walk off and said he wouldn't be there tomorrow for the wedding. Well, nobody wants you, so that's totally fine.
Yeah.
My husband found out what was going on and told him we will address the issue of you putting hands on my daughter later. But if you don't show for the wedding, your shaky relationship with your daughter will be done. Next day was great, surprisingly. My dad showed up and was even seated at our table with his wife. He was included in all photos with the bride and groom and family photos. My dad didn't speak to me the entire day. I found out later that he had someone introduce him to the family member that stepped in the night before and apologized to her and an uncle that didn't have a clue anything had happened. Never apologized to me, my husband, the bride, or my other daughter. He has even called since then and asked for a favor. I was busy and couldn't help. Sally texted and asked how the honeymoon was going, and I didn't respond. My brother says I'm overreacting, he's old, and to just let it go. I don't think I can, as this is part of a very long list of male chauvinist acts and comments he has made. Just one example, Thanksgiving 2 years ago, my dad told my daughter, bride, that the way you dress gives men the wrong idea, and if something were to happen to you, it would be your fault. This guy's really awful.
No.
He sucks. She had on a dress for the first time in years, except church, and it was to her knees.
Ugh.
Telling your grandchild. That's so
Yeah.
weird. That's so weird.
That's so ew.
Ugh. She did tell him how he was wrong, and his wife Sally defended my dad's statement. I could go on for days, but I won't. Am I the a-hole if I don't invite him to anything else? And there is an update. But what say you?
It's so hard because he's your dad,
Yeah.
the grandpa
Yeah.
of your kids. You know, that feels like someone that you want to have at family and special events.
Sure.
But these also are, these feel like just very like old person, like
Yeah.
things to deal with. And sometimes you don't want to deal with that. And that's fair too.
Exactly. If he's gonna, piss off everyone in your family, then it's like you don't want to be around him. Your kids don't want to be around him.
Yeah. So
Maybe he needs to learn that unless he changes his behavior, nobody wants to be around him.
Right.
Mm.
Right. I think that's fair.
But there is an update. I have had a rocky relationship with my dad since my parents' divorce, and I have daddy issues because of it. I don't have any delusion about who my dad is or what kind of man he is. I have 2 older brothers, and my dad never knew what to do with a girl, so on my weekends with him, he either left me sitting on the porch and never showed, he insisted he did not want to see my mom, or he would actually show up and would take me to work with him on his side job of handyman work. I'm grateful for that because I am independent and can fix just about anything. Aside from that, without going into crazy detail, I have gone 100% no contact with his entire side of the family, except an uncle that has nothing to do with any of the issues that have come up in the past. I have also gone low contact or no contact several times since I was 18 and legally allowed to. My husband and I have raised very smart, level-headed, most of the time, strong women. Since my mom was unalived, they desperately wanted to be close to my dad, and he never wanted/allowed it. I don't know why, except he's a very selfish human being. They learned very young what a nasty, ugly world this is, and I allowed them to an extent to decide who they would allow to be in their bubble. Having a parent, my best friend and favorite person on earth, unalived is something that puts things in a completely different perspective, In the past 16 years, my kids have lived that, felt it, and suffered through it. I don't sugarcoat life because they know the truth. My daughters, bride 22, sister 24, have never been forced to have contact with a family member they didn't want to have contact with. My youngest daughter that my dad made the comment to stood up to him and let him have it before I could come flying from the kitchen and told him to get the F out of my house. What is so completely hilarious about the whole thing is she's the most modest person you ever met. Never wears revealing clothes or short shorts and anything to give him a reason to make the comment as wrong as it was. Her bathing suits have long sleeves because she has fair skin. After he left and I quit plotting bad things on him, we just laughed. We laughed because he is so selfish and many, many other things that it was funny that of all people, he said that to her. Well, yeah, it's not about whether or not someone's actually dressed modestly.
Mm-hmm.
It's about making, it's about asserting power and dominance and making people feel bad. That's why they do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That was Thanksgiving a couple years ago. Before Christmas, he stopped by my house to talk. I had not spoken to him since kicking him out of the house at Thanksgiving. He stopped by to see what my adult children that were in college wanted for Christmas. And my response was, all any of us want from you for Christmas is to show up and shut your effing mouth or don't come, period.
Boom.
Yes, it's like you can come if you don't talk.
Yeah.
If you're silent.
You're welcome.
Everyone in our family has enough money to buy what they want, and it's truly about family time and not gifts for Christmas. Since then, he has done good at not making any out-of-the-way comments that I have heard. I do all the cooking for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter, and we get together at my house. So I will stay in the kitchen and talk to my other guests and family and mostly ignore my dad and completely ignore Sally just to keep my sanity. I do always give him a hug and tell him I love him and just a bye to Sally. Both of my daughters have the right to include or exclude anyone they want from their weddings, and I did not force anything on her as far as my dad being there. The bride is a strong adult woman, and her now husband is supportive of her and her choices. She chose to have my dad in her wedding photos because she knows that those will be her memories when he's gone, and she chooses to remember him from the good memories. I am so very, very aware that my only true loving parent was taken from me.
Aww.
That is really hard. I am aware that my kids and my nieces and nephews lost the best grandparent they had. I have often wondered and prayed for an answer of why it was her and not him, which I feel bad about. I know for a fact that my kids feel the same way. Why was it her and not him? I raised my kids to love, give trust when earned, be strong, and stand up for yourself. And they do. To address why I didn't do anything about my father when he grabbed my daughter, I was in another area of the rehearsal dinner fixing what Sally had messed up and had no idea what was happening outside. No one came and got me or told me what happened till it was over and he was gone. I do remember my two daughters and husband walking in the doors together and they were laughing and smiling, and I thought they must have not seen or heard my conversation with my dad and Sally. Nope. They did, and they were laughing and smiling because they weren't letting that a-hole ruin her special day. This is really great. It seems like they're all like not letting their boundaries be crossed.
Yeah, I think they're going about it in a good way.
Yeah, which is like, I mean, they've lost someone really important in their life and are left with this kind of really, not great parent/grandparent.
Right.
But yeah, as long as you put those boundaries up and you don't let someone cross them, that's the important thing. I found out everything that had happened when I got home that night. We had 12 family members staying with us, and one of them happened to be the one that stepped in during the altercation. That's when everyone decided it was safe to tell me what had happened. Yes, I said safe, and I mean safe for my dad. The bride decided it was still okay for him to come if he shows up, and out of respect for her and her hubby, I didn't say anything or cause a scene. Her wedding day was not the time or the place for me to unleash 47 years of FUs on him. My oldest daughter will be getting married in the next year or so, and she's already said he isn't invited, and that's fine. By the way, you're always invited to join us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile. And there is a little bit left to the story.
Mm-hmm.
But do you have any thoughts before we finish it off?
I think like before, I was thinking like, it's just old people for you.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, with all that background and all that history with the dad, it's like, okay, yeah, I think that's a little more understandable to just not want him there. Or
I
just to want him to
totally
shut
agree.
up. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's totally fine.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think, and also it's not even like they're fully cutting him off. It's like you have the option if you act like an adult
Mm-hmm.
and act kindly, then you can come.
Yeah.
But otherwise, don't
Just
leave. If
know.
you can't keep your mouth shut, don't
Yeah.
come.
Yeah.
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 I think everything's very fair here.
I think so. I think so.
Also, guys, it's only been 18 days, which maybe I should have said sooner, since this happened, and I haven't calmed down enough to address anything with him. The bride and groom are still on their honeymoon and haven't addressed it with him either. My husband isn't calmed down enough yet to speak to my father, and we also have out-of-town guests staying with us. I vented to my brother, who also agrees we lost the best parent and best grandparent our kids had. He was only saying that dad will never change, and even though his wife is embarrassing, men are supposed to defend their wives. He agrees what my dad did by grabbing my daughter was wrong, but also pointed out that my dad hates to be wrong or stood up to, and she stood up to him being an a-hole. I hope this answers some of the questions that people commented. And that is the end of that story.
Wow.
Sometimes you gotta stand up to your dad when he's being awful.
Yeah. Gotta do what you
Moral
gotta
of the
do.
story.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
we'll see you. My mother accused me of stealing her massage therapist, but I was just trying to be supportive.
Aww.
Why can't everyone just get a massage?
They can share.
Me, 30 female, and my mom, 55 female, both like to go to the same massage place. There was a woman who worked there, Carla, who was our favorite, but she recently quit. By the way, this comes from Bunny Meow 77 on the OK Storytime subreddit. So some background. My mom has recently gone part-time at her job. She has renovated a suite in her backyard and turned it into a small home spa that she uses to do lashes. She works 1 week on, 1 week off at her regular job and does lashes at her home spa on her week off. We were both sad that Carla had left the massage place as she was the best. We didn't know where she had gone, otherwise we would have followed, but we think they have a contract that doesn't allow providers to take clients with them when they leave, as this has happened before. I suggested to my mom that she should look her up on socials. Maybe she had a massage place, maybe she had a massage page, or we could find out where she had moved to. My mom found her on socials, and Carla said she was taking a break and wasn't sure what her next steps were, but she did offer to do a house visit for my mom, but said her portable massage table was in storage and she would have to sort out getting that. My mom said no problem. She had the spa in the back that has a table and they could use that. Carla thought that was great and they arranged a time. My mom called me and said that Carla was coming to her spa to do massages and asked me if I wanted her to check and see if she would also do a massage for me after. I said yes, that would be great. She's the best. My mom mentioned that since Carla didn't have a space to work from right now, she was thinking about offering Carla to rent the spa on the week my mom is at work. She thought it could be mutually beneficial arrangement. I said that was nice and didn't really think much about it. When I got my massage, I chatted with Carla a bit about why she left the previous place and if she had any plans to go somewhere new. She said to me that she was thinking of starting her own business and going to clients' houses to do massages. She told me that's what she used to do and that she had a portable massage table. She didn't bring up working for my mom's spa. I did not either. I wasn't sure if my mom had talked to her about it or anything, but figured that was between them and not really any of my business, which is fair. I don't know if I would have brought that up.
Right. That sounds about right.
Yeah. After the massage, I talked to my mom a bit and she said she had mentioned to Carla that she could rent the spa on the week my mom was at work, but that Carla hadn't really said yes or no and they didn't get into it. I said to my mom that Carla had talked about maybe starting her own business and going to people's houses and that she had not mentioned renting the room, but the conversation had been very casual and more about what her thoughts were when she left the previous place and why she had left there. I said she should talk to Carla about renting the room if she really wanted to, and I asked her about what kind of arrangement she would be looking for. It was all a hypothetical conversation, as obviously Carla had not said yes or no. I was just curious to know what my mom was hoping for / her ideal situation. My mom seemed somewhat upset by this conversation, but I thought she was just being a little weird and let it go. Later that night, I texted my mom and asked her for Carla's contact info. My mom had been the one to message her, and Carla had given her number to my mom and said I could grab it from her so we could stay in contact. My mom was very upset. She said that she is offended that I would go behind her back and try to steal Carla.
What?
What?
She's literally like, she's like a worker.
She's providing a service.
She's got clients. Like,
this is so weird. I told her I had no idea what she was talking about. She says that she spent a lot of money renovating her spa and that partnering with Carla could have been really good business opportunity for her, and then I'm just scooping her up and going to get her to come to my house for a massage. She said she made her intentions clear to me and that I'm trying to undermine her plans by staying in contact with Carla. But like, if Carla wanted to work from your house, she would have. This has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, like you didn't talk to her, it seems, about what her plans were for her own business.
This came as a total surprise to me. I thought that she was just trying to be nice, making the offer to Carla, and that if it worked out, that was great. I had no idea that she would be upset if I followed Carla to another spa or hired her if she decided she would rather do mobile massage. She said that she's offended and that if I want Carla's numbers so bad, I can track her down on socials myself, and that she won't give it to me.
Oh my gosh.
So she's being so childish.
Yeah.
She's like, I really didn't like my spa thing. It was not going to work out without Carla's help.
Right. She's like, finders keepers.
Yeah.
You got to figure it out.
I told her she was being crazy and I had no idea where any of this was coming from. She thinks it is completely inappropriate for me and Carla to have even talked about Carla doing mobile massage, as she had already offered her spa to Carla. My mom views asking me if I wanted to come get a massage as getting Carla another client and thinks it's shady of Carla to try to pick me up as a client when my mom was clearly trying to make an arrangement with her. This is exhausting. I think the whole thing is kind of gross and that she's acting like she has control over Carla's choice. Or at least that I should only be able to see Carla if she decides to work from her spa because she's the one that reached out and found her on socials. The whole thing just seems bizarre to me. But you know what's not bizarre? Joining us live every weekday at 3 p.m. on YouTube. Just tap her profile.
Just tap it.
And there is a little bit left, but what do you think? Because this is so strange.
It's so crazy. I feel like this sounds like the stories you'll hear about like talent agencies.
Yeah.
Where, like there's like an actress like that and they're like, great, you are my manager, right? And then they're like, they're trying to get other clients because that's their job. And then they're like, what? You're getting jobs for them and not me?
What the heck? You don't only work with me? I'm not your whole life?
Right. It's like, girl, this is their job. I've got
other things going on.
Clients, like you're not, this is just what it is. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
That's insane.
No.
That's so silly.
Let Carla be.
Yes.
In the end, I said I don't want to be involved in any of this and that I will just go back to the massage place and see another provider. So am I the a-hole here? I did call her crazy. That was probably kind of mean. But for the rest of it, did I undermine her business plan? Am I being disloyal? I really didn't consider my mom's business plans as a factor in this at all. Carla just gives the best massage and I would have been happy to follow her wherever she takes her career. And that is the end of that story. Just go get your massage, OP.
Yeah.
Don't let your mom stop you.
Yeah, but also I'm thinking too, like, you know, OP was originally gonna get Carla to like come to her house and get a massage there. Why can't you could still get a massage from Carla? Like,
well, I think it's this. Yeah.
Like if the mom has like such a problem with it, then it's like, okay, well, I'll just go to your house then to like get this massage. Like, what?
Yeah, I think it's the thing of the mom wanted her, like Carla, to be a part of her business, and so it's not even like she's like, it's not that she wants a massage from Carla, she wants Carla to help out her business. Like she doesn't think that she can do it on her own.
That's so
it's like
silly.
You don't have dibs on Carla. Carla's doing whatever she wants to do.
Right. And then it's like weird too because it's like, well, she was going to use her like massage table, but you already had a spa, so like that's the only reason that she was over there in the first place. So so silly.
So silly.
Oh my goodness. But no, not the a-hole.
No,
for sure.
Not the a-hole. Sure. But that is the end of that story. My boyfriend's father hates how I look, so my boyfriend dropped him. All of this happened very recently, so the fallout is still happening. So I, female 19, have been with my boyfriend, male 20, for a year and a half now. For some context, his parents have been divorced for almost 11 years, and it was a very nasty split and still hasn't changed to this day. By the way, this comes from No One 9000 on the OK Storytime subreddit. So my boyfriend's mom is covered in tattoos, has a lot of piercings, and dyed hair. My boyfriend's dad hates tattoos, piercings, and dyed hair, and makes his kids' life hellish if they want to be like their mom.
Whoa,
why is he married to her then?
Why did they get together then?
I also have a lot of piercings and tattoos, and my hair is also dyed jet black. He doesn't like that very much and always comments that I'm too much like his ex, and always says to my boyfriend that he's basically dating his mom. Dude, why are you making it weird? Which is extremely weird and creepy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so weird. I feel he has always had a problem with me since day one due to me being the things he hates the most. Yeah, maybe he liked tattoos, but then when he divorced his wife, he was like, I never want to see a tattoo another day in my life.
Anytime I see tattoos or dyed hair or piercings,
it reminds me of my
devil.
ex-wife.
The devil.
My boyfriend also has a younger brother, male 16, and a younger sister, female 11, who also get a lot of hate from their dad due to the fact they also dress goth and want piercings and tattoos like their mom. Just sound like a bunch of sick people.
I love it.
On to the issue that happened. My boyfriend and I went round to his aunt's house, dad's sister, for a family birthday. Everything was going well, as I feel as if I was finally able to fit in more with his dad's family. Like I said, his dad always makes rude and obnoxious comments about me and the way I dress and look, and my boyfriend has told him multiple times about how it makes me uncomfortable. Good on the boyfriend again. Everyone was having a good time until Sarah, boyfriend's sister, saw a Pandora ring on my hand and thought it was an engagement ring and started to get excited thinking that me and her brother were going to get married. She's been saying for a long time that she wants that to happen, so when she thought it was happening, she started to ask and when it was going to happen. They've been married. They've been together for like a year.
Yeah, and they're
19,
also, again, they're very young.
But also she's 11, so.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cute. I'd be like, oh, that's so sweet.
Just then, Adam, the dad, burst in with, over my body, am I going to let that happen? Why you gotta be a little stick in the mud?
Why you gotta be so rude?
So true. I was sick of his comments toward me and said back, that can be arranged. Damn.
Mic drop.
Damn.
Mic
To
drop.
his dad, honestly, maybe not the best idea.
Especially when,
In front of everyone,
in front of
maybe
everyone,
not the best idea.
I know you're young and you want to be headstrong, but that's
maybe not the best idea. Which just made things worse, I can imagine. The rest of the day, he was making more and more comments and insults, saying to my boyfriend, what are you seeing her? And calling me an idiot when he pulled a plate of garlic bread away from me purposely, causing it to fall on the floor and make me look like it was my fault. Eventually, I got sick of his crap and called him a wiener to his face and said, I don't like him. Sorry if there's a lot of swearing. I'm Scottish and it's just the way we usually talk. There was a lot of comments fired back and forward. Most of them were jokes on my side, but his were just cruel. Luckily, after this happened, Kevin, boyfriend's brother, got stuck in the bathroom, so the attention went to him and took it off me. There's a lot going on at this party.
Not the garlic bread falling to the ground.
He's like, why'd you do that? You idiot. No, he's like, shut, I don't like you.
She's got buttery hands. What do you see in her?
Not long after that, boyfriend and I were leaving and saying goodbye to the family. I was stood talking to S for a while out in the hall while Ryan, boyfriend, was getting his things together to go. He said goodbye to his dad, and so did I, and I got ignored. As we turned to leave, he made another comment saying that next time I need to fix my attitude. And I jokingly said back, no. Just as Ryan stepped out the door, his dad called me a rude bee, and we left.
Oh no.
That's on the walk back home, Ryan said to me that what happened wasn't good. And then I said that it wasn't right for his dad to speak to me like that. Ryan didn't actually hear his dad say that to me and said he would speak to him once we got home.
Yeah, I was going to say, why didn't Ryan do anything?
Yeah, it seems like maybe the dad was saying it.
Maybe it was muttered, but
yeah.
she heard it and okay.
Ryan has never stood up to his dad like he did before. He only felt confident to do it now as he isn't living with him anymore, and we're now living in our own place. There was a big blow up over text, and now Adam isn't speaking to his son. We had a condition for that he could only come back if he apologized to me, but that's never going to happen. He already isolated Kevin as there was multiple blow ups to him in the past about getting his septum pierced and stretching his ears. He also always makes awful comments due to the fact that Kevin is now leaving high school to go to college and study fashion and has been skipping classes in high school even though he's going to leave in a few months. Adam is getting very close to losing his relationships with all of his kids, and Sarah gets treated poorly by his partner Joan as she has a son her age and always gets away with everything, and Sarah gets punished. Poor Sarah, this cute little 11-year-old. She's also very interested in goth styles and music, much like her older brothers, Mum and I. Adam always says that I'm influencing his kids to disobey him and do what he hates. They're probably way more influenced by their mother and her brothers.
I wonder where it's stemming from. Yeah.
Opie's been there for a year.
Unbelievable.
I just want them to be happy. Kevin and Sarah mean a lot to me, and the stuff they go through with their dad is very similar to me and my dad. That is why I'm no longer in contact with him and his family. But that's a different and long story. But we would love for you to keep contact with us by joining us live every weekday on YouTube at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile.
Easy tap.
And there is a little bit more, but what do you think about OP's clapbacks and reaction? What is else?
It seemed like OP was doing it playfully. Like she was trying to get under
She's like,
the dad's
we're not gonna
skin.
be arranged.
Yeah, like she's trying to get under the dad's skin, and the dad, it obviously got under his skin, and he found it very rude, and he didn't like be playful with it.
I honestly, I don't think it was the best thing to call him out in front of everyone.
Yeah.
I think it just like it adds fuel to the fire. However, I don't think you're the a-hole necessarily.
No,
or at least you're a justified a-hole because he was attacking you.
The dad, it seems like, you know, when someone's shooting like spitballs.
Yeah.
And like they just keep hitting someone, and it finally just like.
You're at least smack him.
Tired of it.
Yeah. But definitely, I think ideally you would have gone to your partner and said like, hey, your dad is doing this. And he would have taken care of it. But I mean, it seems like after the fact, that is what he's doing. So that's good.
Ryan did call him out and was like, you know what? If you're going to do this, we're going no contact. And that's fine. It just sucks for the other kids in the household.
It does, especially for the 11-year-old who's not going to, you know.
I was going to say, if the dad hates everything that, you know, the mom has inspired and like they want to do, why aren't they just with the mom? I know it's like a 50, probably
custody,
a 50,
probably.
yeah, it's probably a custody
something
thing.
Like that.
But as an outsider, I'd be like, Ryan, why don't you talk to your mom about this and see if she can get full custody?
Yeah.
Because that's a very toxic household to be in.
Really? Ryan's dad is refusing to speak to him now and claims that I disrespected him. Ryan is not backing down and won't get in contact with him now, as this isn't the first time he's been warned about making comments about me. He thinks there's no salvaging his relationship with his dad, as he knows it would just happen again and again, no matter what. So am I the a-hole for doing this? And that is the end of that story. I think the same thoughts.
I think, again, some of the words could have been handled a little bit more proper, but at the end of the day, what's done is done and what's said is said, and the dad is just really stingy, and he's not going to apologize. I think
also, regardless of whatever you said to him, I think the no contact or even low contact would have been the right move regardless.
It just seems like there's always going to be an argument with any of the kids.
Yeah.
And especially it seems like Ryan and the dad, his dad, get into very big arguments all the time, and it's just not good for everyone's mental, health.
Agreed. But that is the end of that story.
My dad's girlfriend's kids were being xenophobic, so we spoke fluent Spanish in front of them.
Having or showing dislike or prejudice against people from other countries.
Xenophobia, let's get it out of there. Bear with me. I'll try my very best to keep this as short as possible. My parents split when I was 23 and my sister was 20. They were such a poor match, and I'm surprised they lasted so long. And both of us breathed a bit of a sigh of relief when they split. Everyone was immediately happier, and since then, both of our parents have found new partners. By the way, this comes from user Don't Suffer Fools on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, I've always had a good relationship with my dad, albeit a bit of a strained one. My dad is a far bit less politically correct than I am. And I am hardly PC at all, trust me. He calls things that are stupid or that he doesn't like gay. He uses slurs to describe gay people, thinks Hillary Clinton would be a bad president because she'd nuke everyone on her period, and laments that he can't use the N-word in public. Okay, so your dad's...
Wow, soul of the earth kind of guy.
Yeah, okay. Sounds like he has a lot of privilege. He's the epitome of an out-of-touch late 50s lily white guy, is what I'm saying. I love my dad, and while these things bother me, there's literally no changing him. So I have to just bear with it when I'm hanging out with him. And an important note is that while my dad says some sexist, homophobic crap, he never does so in public. Oh, great. So he can do it around, the people he loves the most.
He just does it around his friends, but
yeah.
he doesn't do it
He
in
knows that it's like it's not allowed to say it.
He's like a cricket. They
Yeah.
chirp until they get close to you.
Yeah, and then they jump away.
Yeah.
At the very least, he knows when to keep his opinions to himself and his family. Recently, my dad has been seeing this woman. Let's call her Iris.
I don't know.
Iris has 2 kids as well, 29 male and 27 female. I don't really know Iris very well. I met her earlier this year at my dad's place, but only very briefly as I was dropping off a few things with my dad. My sister's never met her before, and neither of us have met her kids before either. So you don't know these new people.
You don't know these new people.
Okay. My dad really likes this woman, so he wants all of us, both sets of kids, to get to know each other and the parents so we all can be a blended family.
Lovely.
Despite my dad's political incorrectness, he can be adorable sometimes. Okay. Your dad's still... So dad invited us all out to dinner. My sister's known to be a bit bristly with strangers, so I told her to be on her best behavior. Because I want our dad to be happy and didn't want to offend Iris or her kids. Yeah, that makes sense. So we sit down and all start trying to get to know each other. My dad chose a Mexican restaurant to take us out to because it's our whole family's favorite type of restaurant. My mom has the most bombastic, authentic Mexican food all the time. Since my mom and dad split, my dad has been trying to fill the hole with my mom's great cooking left in his belly, so to speak, and is a taqueria junkie. Taqueria junkie. Also important to note, me and my sister, despite being half Mexican, have really white skin. We have obviously Mexican features, or at least I think they're obviously Mexican, but everyone always assumes that we are of white European descent because of the color of our skin. So we sit down with Iris and her kids, and immediately her kids start complaining. These are again 29, like they're like late 20s.
27, 29, oh boy. Yeah. Oh no.
These are grown adults complaining that half of the menu is in Spanish.
Oh no.
Bro.
Come on.
Next to each thing on the menu was the Spanish name and the English name, and all the descriptions were in English, so it wasn't like an English speaker couldn't read it. I am near fluent in Spanish, and my sister speaks passably, and we're both in school to become English second language teachers, but we tried to settle the hair on the backs of our necks and ignore them. We actually managed to have a pleasant combo with them otherwise, until the waiter comes over to get our drink orders.
Uh-oh, I see you.
Iris' son snapped at the waiter like a dog to get his attention and take his order first.
Oh my gosh.
And her daughter spoke in a highly condescending voice, very slowly. Like this man working at a restaurant that caters to big fat white people couldn't understand dang English. Iris was normal, thank God, but when the waiter, bless his jolly soul, he was so kind despite being treated like an idiot by those two, left. Her son remarked that he didn't expect the service to be very good. I don't even know if he could understand us.
Oh no.
My dad has been to this place before, so he said, no, the service here is great. You're going to love this food. I recommend. Again, I can't remember what exactly he recommended. Something that dad always usually gets. Trying to smooth things over. And then the son says, not like I could understand him either with that god-awful accent. These people need to learn English if they want to come to America. Probably an illegal or some crap.
Oh gosh, dude. Oh my goodness.
This is a 29-year-old man in public.
Dude, that's insane.
And
man.
the mom, I guarantee you that dad, mom, not OP's mom, but OP's like
the
new mom and the sister.
The new girlfriend.
Yeah. Oh, they're just like,
keep it up.
Keep it up.
Oh, this is so bad.
Before we get into it, if you like a friend or like a partner, if they started doing
say that?
they saying that, well, saying I would obviously, that's an obvious like no, but if they were very rude to waiters or
turn
services,
off, dude.
I hate that.
Yeah, no.
That's really gross. I always make sure to say please and thank you.
Oh yeah, I want everyone to feel welcomed and loved.
Yeah. I even when I leave, I'm like thank you for the food. Appreciate you guys. Have a good night. I always say that.
Yeah.
Me and my sister are generally nice, kind people. But no one has ever accused us of being patient or suffering fools silently. So because we're petty, we just gave each other a look and started speaking only in Spanish to one another for the rest of the night. Yo. Could you imagine?
What?
They just like, OP and the sister are speaking Spanish. Their eyes must have been like, oh no.
Yeah.
I felt bad because Iris looked mortified.
Oh, dang.
Iris looked mortified, but it felt so good to be so petty for the next hour or so through dinner. We, of course, switched to English to talk to Iris or her kids, but with each other and my dad, who could understand it a bit, but not speak it, we spoke the most rapid, fluent Spanish we could muster.
Oh, boy.
And at every opportunity, my sister would try to mention that we were Mexicans and had grown up in a Hispanic household with our mom and her extended family. I would have said something, but let's keep going. Since then, my dad's been texting and calling us, mostly because I'm usually the ringleader of these sorts of things, begging for us to apologize to Iris's kids for embarrassing them. No, F that. For embarrassing them? I'm sure my dad didn't know they were going to be so racist towards Mexicans, or else I'm sure he wouldn't have invited them to go out for Mexican food. But I know he doesn't think what they said was that racist, like I said earlier. The dad doesn't care. Or like this is like the dad's like, oh, they can say it because I say it at home. This is fine.
Yeah.
You know, this is comfortable.
Yeah.
He said that they could have been worse.
Yeah, they could have actually like said the N-word in public.
Yeah.
Or like actually said what they really thought.
Yeah. He said that they could have been worse, and there was no need for you to humiliate them and Iris like that. I agree, Iris was lovely. I should have taken her feelings into account, and I have no problem calling or meeting her to apologize for acting so petty and childish. But dang it, I do not want to apologize to racists for pointing out and not taking their racism sitting down. Is that so wrong? What should I do? Am I just being petty about this too? I don't want to make my dad unhappy, but I know he's not a good judge of what is and isn't racism. And I don't feel like I should apologize for slapping a couple of racist adult brats down. There is an update.
Ooh. Like, this is
I think this is a competition of petty.
Yeah.
But OP's in the right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in a way, you did isolate the two kids, and they were horrible people. So, not saying you have to apologize to them. You were on their level in a way to like show them,
rather than tell them like, "Hey, that's not right."
Yeah,
we are Mexican. If
If
our dad hasn't told you, which I think your dad should have been like, my previous partner.
Yeah, but you don't. I mean, if you don't feel like you have to apologize to them and you don't want to build a relationship with them, don't do it.
You don't. Yeah, you don't have to. This is not for your father's happiness. This is for your happiness.
Yeah, and like you can tell your dad, like, hey, I don't really like these people.
The fact that they're willing to apologize to Iris is great. But they don't have to be like justify their explanation.
Yeah, no, I'm all about being around people you're excited to be around.
Yeah, especially I hate people who are rude to the like waiters and like food service. You do realize if people are out there and you do that, you do realize these people are serving you food.
Yeah.
Do you say that out loud? They're serving you food.
Yeah.
You know what that means? They can do whatever they want to your food.
Oh wow. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So
Yikes.
Be kind to your waiters. Update. So I thought I'd come back to update y'all. My sister and I talked about it with our mom. I was gonna say, what if mom were there?
Yeah.
I would have told dad, like, what if our mom was there? What do you think? We could have been worse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You say they could have been worse. We could have been worse.
Oh yeah.
So I thought I'd come back to update y'all. My sister and I talked about it with our mom, who has always been much calmer than us. She laughed at us speaking nothing but Spanish and said she wished she'd been there to see Iris's kids' faces. She did tell us to just apologize though, because she knows how our dad can hold grudges over tiny things like this. We didn't really want to do that though. So I contacted Iris and asked her if I could meet up for coffee and talk about everything that happened. She was super apologetic when we met for coffee.
Aww.
And said a lot of her kids' funny ideas come from their bio dad.
Oh, I see.
Who is a patriotic Republican.
Ooh.
I think she has a type. The way she kind of sugarcoated everything about it makes me think maybe she doesn't necessarily think what they did was wrong in general. Just that she was sorry my sister and I happened to be part Mexican and that what they did offended us.
Not sorry for what they said.
She's like, oh, they were the kids. They said the darndest things, even though they were literally 30. Anyway, it was just me and Iris at Starbucks. My sister wasn't there. She's grown incredibly apathetic to the incident in a very short amount of time. That's just the way she is. And I said, I understand everyone's entitled to their opinion, that my dad has some opinions I don't agree with at all too, but that it was rude of them to assume we'd be okay subjected to their racist remarks and was embarrassing to be seen with racist. Iris was pretty flustered at the terms racist, but I didn't back down. Anyway, she was at least reasonable and apologized again about what happened. And I apologized that we embarrassed her at dinner. And besides some slightly irreversibly ruffled feathers, I think I've at least smoothed things over with her. And you can smooth things with us every weekday, live 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile.
Easy money. This is tough. It's her kids, and she wants to respect them and their ideas and their values. So that's probably why she's sugarcoating everything.
100%. They're just, again, privileged.
Yeah.
You're privileged. You can't, they're not going to, they don't know, they don't understand, and they don't think they will ever understand.
I bet you they got the brand newest iPhone.
They got Cybertrucks.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kidding. I don't know. I'm not
Big
calling out people
trucks.
who have Cybertrucks, just saying.
Oh.
No, there's no reason for you to apologize. Again, you apologize to the person that you need to apologize.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's understanding, but not to the extent that you want her to be, I guess you guys are meeting halfway. This isn't your family.
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with them. You'll have to see your dad, but I know you want to make things, friendly. You don't have to do that.
Nope.
Yeah, back to the story. My dad is another story. Speaking of another story, my dad is another story. He is stubbornly not talking to me until I apologize to his girlfriend's kids.
Oh, no.
I made my stance clear that I wouldn't. And if he wanted to act like racism against his kids was okay, then I wouldn't be hanging around him anymore, or God forbid, bringing my future mixed kids and his future grandkids around.
Ooh.
My sister just sent him a text that said, have fun with the racist. She's not good at being subtle.
Aww.
Anyway, that's where things are right now. Not a super good ending, but not necessarily a bad ending either. And that's the actual end of the story.
You just kind of, stood your ground on what you believed in and what you value. That's not a bad thing.
You have to tell your dad, like, there's a fine line, Dad. Like, I get it. That's who you are. I'm not going to change who you are. I just don't agree with it.
Yep.
That's your family. Have fun.
Yep.
Low contact is all.
Low contact.
Racists suck. Xenophobic people suck. Prejudice suck. You suck.
That's that episode, or that's the end of that story.
My dad cheated on my mom, but his karma is his new wife sucks.
There we go.
Hi. I, 26 female, have a dad who remarried about 7 years ago to his new wife, Kara. My dad is 65 and got his Medicare benefits this year, but Kara convinced him to claim his benefits early by about 5 months so that he wouldn't be able to get the full benefits. This is one of many things she's done, but it is the second most recent.
Doesn't sound good.
By the way, this comes from user OKBoat45 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, the most recent was when she said my father wasn't allowed to meet his grandchild that my sister, 28 female, had earlier this year. He has not met his granddaughter yet, and my sister was going to be driving up there for them to meet, since my father has been having car issues for the last 2 years and has been unable to visit. I say unable in quotations because Kara has a daughter from another marriage who always accompanied my father whenever he would visit us. She would call her mom and report back every detail of what we were doing, saying where we were going. It was literally a play-by-play and very uncomfortable. When we requested that her daughter stay home after she was already into her early 20s, as she was a teen when this started, suddenly he could no longer visit. When we requested that her daughter stay home as she was already into her early 20s and she was a teen when this started, suddenly he could no longer visit. A few days before my sister was supposed to drive 4 hours to go visit them, my dad called to tell my sister that Kara had decided to ban her from visiting my father.
Oh, wow.
Because she has the total right to do that, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
She also previously prevented my father from seeing my brother, 23 male, who had been trying fruitlessly to get my dad to meet his girlfriend before he officially proposed.
Oh, wow.
In the end, my dad never met her and my brother proposed anyway. They're happily engaged now. I resent my dad for his life choices. He cheated on my mom 3 times. She forgave him the first 2 times when we were little kids to keep the family together. But when we were older, my mom found out my dad cheated again, but this time he used my sister as a scapegoat for father-daughter days that were actually dates with other women. And he told my sister that it was her job as the oldest to help him hide it from my mother so that they wouldn't divorce and tear the family apart.
Lovely.
This guy is...
New job.
I feel awful because I used to be jealous that my dad never took me on a father-daughter day. He would take me and my brother out to the zoo sometimes when my sister told him that he needed to spend time with us, and taking my brother to Target did not count as a family outing. He never took my sister with us. I thought it was weird, but now I know he stopped viewing her as a daughter and just saw her as a scapegoat to blame all his problems on. She was like 13 when he started this.
Oh no.
How are you going to put that on a 13-year-old?
Oh no, dude. That's so tough. The trauma.
Hey, you're my lie. You're my lie, and you're keeping the family together now. And if you don't, it's your fault. This guy sucks. My mom was still willing not to divorce him for my brother, who was still a teen at the time, if he went to therapy, confessed his sins to a priest, we're religious, and did marriage counseling. My dad said no, and my mom realized that he didn't love her at all anymore, so divorce. My dad was also trying to turn my brother and I against my mom at the time because we were not told why they were divorcing, saying it was her fault, and she had a list for him that he didn't want to do. When we found out the truth, we both supported my mom, obviously.
Yeah, dude, you have no... It's like David and Goliath right here. But David doesn't have his stones.
David has no stones, and he's got no legs, and he's got no excuses.
Yeah.
He's nothing.
Yeah.
When he remarried, he didn't tell us until a few weeks after they remarried when Kara sent me a friend request on Facebook and she had his last name. My dad's extremely selfish, and while he texts me semi-regularly, he doesn't make the same effort for my sister or brother despite the fact that they reach out to him more.
Who knows what the dad is saying about her, about OP?
I can tell you, it's probably a bunch of lies. A bunch of lies. I'm the one who's still single, so I think he still sees me as his little girl while the others are adults. I haven't forgiven him, and he never asked for forgiveness. Still, he is my dad, and there's a part of me that wants to help him, wants him to choose my siblings who are trying to have a relationship with him despite everything. Kara made him take a test that said he had early signs of dementia, though he claims that he's cognitively fine. She makes him beg my aunts and uncles on his side for money so she can spend it on designer bags and false eyelashes. She works at a fire department as a secretary, I think? I have never cared enough to ask for clarification. She wasn't any of the women my dad cheated on my mom with, but she was the girl he dated prior to my mother. Kara tried to stay in my dad's life while he was dating my mom, but he picked my mom over her. I find it very weird that she was there when they divorced, as my dad isn't really on social media, and neither is my mom, so I don't know how she found him. They were together pretty quickly after the divorce while my mother stayed single, as she didn't want to make things weird for my brother. I've never met her in person, but I've heard her yelling at my dad in the background of a few phone calls we've had. I honestly don't think she even likes my dad based on how she's acted. Dude. I mean, that's what he deserves, right?
Yeah.
For real.
And I honestly, she's just in it for the money.
Yep. You deserve a woman who wants nothing but your money.
Exactly.
You disgusting troll of a man. I think she wanted to marry him to win. I think she wanted to marry him to quote unquote win, since my dad didn't pick her originally. I honestly am just speculating on that because I don't know why else she would. My dad doesn't have money. She encouraged him to work as a cashier even though he's college educated with work experience and could have gone anywhere else. He had a small business that wasn't really successful before that. Then when he lost his job as a cashier, she made him get his Medicare benefits early despite only being a few months away from being full benefits. He is solely reliant on her. She checks his location. She isolates him from friends and family. She's ruined his relationship with his siblings by making him beg for money. My uncle has told me that my dad only calls for handouts. My uncle has told me that my dad only ever calls for handouts. It's sad.
Dang.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
That is horrible.
The new wife from hell. But you know who's not the new wife from hell?
Who's that?
Us. And you can join us live on YouTube every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. All you gotta do is tap our profile.
Tippity tap tap.
So I think, honestly, I'm happy with this situation.
Yeah, karma did its thing.
You cheat on your wife, then guess what? You get to be with, scumbag McGee over here just trying to drain all of of your, your family members' pockets and I guess swindling you out of, she wanted the Medicare benefits early? Is there some sort of cash?
She was trying to get, I feel like she was trying to get cash out of him for being cashier. He got fired.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're going to get medical benefits. Let's do it.
I know that my dad is awful, but I still want to help him. I feel like Kara is committing elder abuse, but not physically, just mentally. I don't know what to do about any of this. It feels like karma has gotten my dad, but it sucks to know it's happening. I told my dad the last time we spoke that if he kept rejecting his kids when they reached out, that one day we wouldn't want him in our lives anymore.
Oof.
That was months ago. At the time, he gave the verbal equivalent of rolling his eyes. I don't remember the exact phrasing, but he dismissed what I said. I feel like he's going to die sad and alone, and if anyone has any advice, I would greatly appreciate it. Well, I think the best advice would be maybe just to tell him to leave this woman.
Yeah, he's not visiting OP anymore because he can't without the daughter.
You're going to have to do that. Tell him to leave this woman who's clearly a negative, an energy vampire.
Yeah.
And that he just needs to work on himself. Focus on him.
Easy as that.
Because he's got problems. He is not perfect.
He's got lots of problems.
He is far from perfect. But he also is your dad.
And you gotta love him.
If this is bothering you, tell him, speak your piece, and that's all you can really do about it.
My mom's new fiance wants me to call him dad, but it's never gonna happen.
You're not my dad! You're not my dad!
Please buckle in because this is all so weird. I'm a 35-year-old man. And for some backstory, my dad passed away when I was 19, leaving my mom with me and my 2 siblings. I'm the oldest. It took some time, but eventually my mom started dating again. By the way, this comes from user ThrowRA, Son of Sands, on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, we don't live together per se, but our houses back onto each other and have a gate, so it's pretty common for her to offer to do my laundry, or me just go over for dinner, or go look after our dog. That kind of stuff. All right, you guys are neighbors. Plus, me and my siblings go over there for dinner every other Friday night or so. A bit after she started, the men she's been dating have been getting younger and younger, and I've never had a problem with them. She's been very open to me and my siblings that she wants to get married again, and we've always been supportive, at least after the initial shocks, lol. The latest guy is by far the most serious, and they've been dating since around last June per se. He proposed at the start of autumn, and they want to get married next summer.
Whoa.
Again, me and my siblings are fine with this because it's her life and we trust him. He's a nice guy and they clearly love each other.
That is wild, though, to get married like...
That's a rush.
That's 3 months? 4 months? 4 months, June to the beginning of autumn is like 3 or 4 months, yeah.
But keep in mind this. OP is 35.
How old is this guy?
We're going to find out. But anyway... So long and short is, this weekend, her fiance, let's call him Phil, calls me and asks me if I could come over. I say, yeah, sure, I'll be over after work, and I assume he just needed some help with do-it-yourself stuff. When I get over there, he calls me Sport.
Ooh, wait, he's the great Gatsby. Here comes Jay Gatsby.
I should mention this is something he does to me and my little brother, calling us things like kid, sport, scout, little buddy, or my personal favorite, calling us red and blue, seemingly out of nowhere. I think OP doesn't like that.
I mean, out of all of them, I feel like the
red and blue is kind of cool.
Is actually
red and blue is kind of sick.
I knew we'd be on the exact same way.
Red and blue is kind of sick.
Cool,
that's sick. My brother is 30, by the way. He tried it with my little sister, who, by the way, is 28, and called her princess once, but he stopped when she just stared at him.
Yes. Just complete dead eyes. Just don't
do that.
That's not happening.
So the thing with Phil is that he reminds me a lot of Charlie Day's character in Horrible Bosses, in that his sole ambition has always been to meet a girl, get married, and have a family.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
When he told me and my brother this, my brother made some joke about how maybe our mom's going to come short on the last part. And he got very upset, but they made up after. Anyway, so I go around and ask if my mom's around, and he says, no, it's just him, and that we really need to talk man to man.
Oh, boy.
I want an age. I need an age.
Where's the age? We need an age reveal.
I need a number here. I say sure, and he starts talking about how he's always wanted to be a father, etc., and raise a son to call his own. He drops this bombshell by saying, now I know I can never replace your father, the man who made you, but it would mean the world to me if you could call me dad. I'll admit it, I snickered a little, and then I knew he was serious because he looked like he was about to cry, and he didn't drop it either. I asked if he really meant it, and he got really emotional and started talking about what it means to be a man and how his purpose is to have and provide for a family, and he wants me and my siblings to be a part of that family. Like he reiterated, he'll never replace my father, and this did rub me the wrong way a bit. But he's ready to step up and be my dad and provide for and protect me and my siblings. This is really cute. I don't know.
How old are you?
Yeah, he's 35. OP is 35. I want to know how old Phil is.
How old are you, Phil?
But again, this is coming from like a place of like heartfelt.
He's trying, I guess. He's being look. If we could say one thing about Phil, he's being emotionally vulnerable.
This is kind of,
and that takes a certain level of maturity.
Listen, it's kind of reminding me of the Field of Dreams, where it's like, hey, you want to have a catch, Dad? And I just sat there thinking, dude, I'm a decade older than you, and I live in a separate house.
So Phil's 25?
I don't know. I don't know. We don't know. Maybe he's just a little. Maybe he's just like a little bit older.
I'm gonna take that as he's 25, a decade older.
Okay.
35 minus 10 is 25.
Okay, I know. I get it. But maybe he's just exaggerating it. I don't know.
No, dude, that's why this is so cringy. Oh
okay,
my
this
God.
is weird. This is getting a little interesting. I mean, age is just a number, right? I don't need providing for, and even if I did, I don't think a guy a third of my age who works part-time at the hardware store and is into collecting manga is the man to do it. Okay, what does manga have to do? Hey now. Well,
don't
dream it's over.
To be honest, though, you're right. I wouldn't be.
But
your
if
dad.
I'm in that situation,
you know what? Wait, actually, OP's totally right. Because
he's just calling us out.
I'm also not ready to be your dad. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So you're right.
No offense if you're into that, lol. Just, I don't know. I was a bit taken aback. I was in shock, so I just said, okay. And he gets emotional again, but in a happy way, talking about how he wants to go camping or go to a baseball game. I don't even like baseball, LMAO. And how he joined the Lions this year and how he wants to bring me into it too, as his boy, which just feels surreal. Even more so as I'm a Shriner. So all this talk of service and charity isn't the brag he thinks it is. Because again,
dude, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, you're trying to like humble brag on like being charitable. That's literally my whole thing.
Like that's what I've been doing, but longer than you have, buddy.
Yeah, quite literally.
Yeah. Because again, I'm 10 years older than this guy. I think he's actually 10 years older.
Yeah, he's 20. This guy's 25 years old.
This is
telling a grown man who's 10 years older than him he wants him to be his son.
I'll be your father now.
You know what? I have to take back everything I said about this guy being emotionally mature, because clearly he's not.
He's not. Well, I ended it by just saying, this has gotten a bit too weird, and I was going home. This is a little bit weird, Phil.
Yeah, honestly, that's the best move.
He got very upset, and I left. Called my brother, and he agreed it sounded weird as F. Later, my mom called me, and she wasn't disappointed, but admitted it made him very upset and depressed. I told her that if he's embarrassed, he doesn't need to be. I get he's excited about the marriage and we can just laugh this off as a funny story. She then said that wasn't what he was upset about. He, and she a bit as well, is upset about the fact that he poured his heart out and I rejected him. She said, yeah, it's a bit kooky, but this is how he proves to himself he's a man. And I guess I was a bit angry and I said something like, first off, it's not my job to certify what's between his legs, and second, this doesn't prove he's a man. It just proves he's a nut job.
I mean, like low key.
He's just trying to be sentimental, and I don't know. I think it's coming from again. It's very heartfelt, like I said.
Nah, there's some. I mean, sure, it's heartfelt, but you're like completely detached from reality.
Like this man
to try to pull this right now. That's not normal.
I apologized immediately, but she said she didn't want to hear it and hung up. She called back 10 minutes later and we apologized, and she begged me just to go along with it until he has some kids to call his own.
No.
Oh.
No, see, this is
That's also weirder.
Why are we doing this? How does OP's mom not have the emotional maturity to be able to tell her own husband, like, hey, the world, hey, guess what? The world doesn't actually bend to you at all times.
This is very weird. This is now I can see this is weird as AF. I won't go too much into details here, but she sort of let it slip that he planned to try IVF treatment because she's not ready to give up on being a mom just yet. And while And while I have my own thoughts about whether or not that's a good idea, I'm not here to litigate on that.
Good. Yeah.
We finished up fine, and I reiterated I'd support her, and she agreed that it was definitely a stressful situation for me, but begged me to at least think about it. Which leads me to here. I did think it over, and obviously I'm going to say no. I had a dad, and he passed away, R.I.P. dad, and that's the only dad I've ever needed, I've ever wanted, and I'll ever bestow that title on. I'm not asking if someone's unreasonable or what I should do, more so what I should say. This clearly means a lot to him for some reason, and I deeply love my mom, so I want to try and minimize the damage, especially as we're still so involved in each other's lives and they live behind me. How can I make it clear to them as painlessly as possible that I think this is weird and borderline offensive? I really don't want to rip the Band-Aid off because I fear what it might do to the family. And there's an edit. Showed my brother the post and he laughed so hard he started coughing, LOL. Then said we should call him Dr. Phil and each other blue and red, so swap the nicknames he gave us around. Thoughts?
My thoughts are honestly red and blue. That's actually such a cool nickname. We need. Look at our backgrounds. I'm blue and you're
I'm
red.
Edit 2. As people were asking, he has no access to my mom's money or anything like that. She rents the house and it came pre-furnished and otherwise has no real assets. She doesn't make a lot of money anyway, so there's no monetary motive we can think of. And there is an update.
Okay, so
I think we said it enough where it's a little weird, but
I like that what he's asking for. He's like, I already know I'm saying no.
yeah, but how he
But
should say
how
it.
do I say no? And
Okay.
it's like, there's this, you have to be gentle. You got to be delicate,
Especially with
but you
this-
have to be firm as well.
Especially with Phil pouring his heart
Yeah.
out, and you can see how emotional he's trying to just be like, I want to be a dad.
Clearly, he just really is hung up on he wants to be a dad, right?
Yeah.
You can let him down gently, a little gentler,
Yeah.
but and start with moving with like, hey, I find it really touching that you felt you could be that open and vulnerable with me.
Yeah.
And that I really appreciate that. And I, platitudes. I'm glad. I'd be happy to see my mom
Happy.
in a relationship with someone.
And that's great.
Who's able
and I think
to do
OP
that.
gets that. I think OP's like, I get that mom's happy. Great.
But just
But
being
he's
like,
not my dad. He's literally not my dad. Original post and slightly amended the title for clarity. Anyway, so I told both my siblings and we agreed we'd collectively put our foot down with Phil at the next family dinner next week. Especially after an incident where Phil referred to my brother as sport and asked him if he wanted to go see a baseball game with him.
Why is he from the 50s though, too? Like, what is that?
Good day, sport. Come on. Let's go watch a game, sport. Get that baseball game. Let's go watch Mickey Mantle.
It's a beautiful day here at Dodger Stadium in
They're
Brooklyn.
playing the Yankees. Admittedly, I was a bit spurred on by what you all said, and I got involved, pinging him back with the, "Aw, no tickets for me, daddy."
Yeah, dude. I mean, if he won't see the light, maybe you gotta shine it in his eyes a little bit.
"Aw, no tickets for me, daddy." And my brother responded with, "Daddy wants me." Oh, God, this is so... Okay. My brother responded with, "Daddy wants me all to himself, And Phil took a few minutes to respond before saying he was shocked, speechless, and disgusted. Now you're just toying with the man.
I don't care though. That's hilarious.
I don't know.
I think at that point, I mean, okay, to be fair, you should try to be gentle about it first.
Yeah, you got.
But then if he still refuses, that's when you pull this.
Yeah, I
That's
think
when
you guys.
you pull the, all right, I'll make you uncomfortable about
I think
it.
OP is going way too direct with this. I think you need to be a little bit pump the brakes.
To be honest though, it's like with your sibling, this is so funny.
Phil then messaged me in private to say he was utterly appalled and that he'd never disrespect his own father the way you boys did. I kind of lost it at this point and said, "Right, that's because you're not my father, Phil. You're a 25-year-old man-child dating my mother. You have no right to my respect, especially not to the respect a father gets." Dude, this is like...
Again, and if I'm in his shoes, my father has passed, and then this guy, after we're literally just joking around, which if my mom's dating someone who's 25, I
would
better
joke
be
about it.
able to joke around with that guy.
I would joke about it, but like, I don't know.
We better be able to, or it's going to be too weird.
Yeah.
And for him to then turn around and be like, "You shouldn't talk to your father that way." It's like, knock, knock. Is anyone there? You are not our dad.
I immediately said sorry, but then blocked his number and left the group chat. Apparently, he sent a similar thing to my brother, who responded with more daddy stuff, and Phil blocked him. Well, that aside, I don't think that family dinner is going ahead. After the original post blew up, it seems someone from his Lions Club found it and reported to their chair or whatever. And Phil has either been expelled or resigned or in the process of one of the two. He has removed nearly all mentions of the Lions from his social media and no longer mentions being a member, with his last post on it being some kind of cryptic goodbye post, where he kind of drones on about what it means to be a man. Being a man in the modern day and the duty of fatherhood bestowed on all men at birth. Really weird crap. Okay, now feels weird.
Now feels weird?
No, I was trying to get like the heartfelt stuff, but Phil is now like, there's this notion, like there's this like wire in his head. He's like fatherhood.
Yeah, no, clearly
Fatherhood.
He's super hung up
on fatherhood.
on like that's his identity, but he doesn't have a kid yet.
Yeah, he doesn't have a kid yet.
That's got to be hard to deal with.
But again, that might stem from his childhood.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but we can't assume.
We're all products of our upbringing in a way.
Yeah. My mom called me half in a panic, half in a rage after about the stuff I've been telling about Phil before breaking down and saying we need to meet, which we did and got my brother to go over too. I know he has temporarily moved back in with his parents in the next town over, but from my understanding, they still want to go ahead with the wedding.
Wait a minute. Your husband moved back in with his parents? Oh, man.
But I think that's more so because they've already spent money on it. When she said she was determined to have more kids, plural, my brother did step up and asked if she really thought that was a good idea at her age, and I pointed out that assuming she had the baby next year and she lived to 80, they still wouldn't have finished college.
Oh, I think this is a tale of two cities here.
Yeah. She just stammered on about how people live longer these days before breaking down, crying, and admitting she's not ready to give up on mothering due to some deep-seated trauma and fears about the family breaking apart that I won't go into for her sake. When we reassured her that we weren't going anywhere, she calmed down and we had a very good, honest conversation where she agreed to drop the IVF stuff on the grounds that it'd be too expensive and unlikely to get green-lit. But she's still adamant it's scientifically possible and should be still allowed to do it from an ethical standpoint because she has to win that argument, and has agreed to look into fostering instead.
Okay, thank God. Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Me and my brother highly doubt anything will come up of that, so we're not that worried anymore. The very good news is she's also agreed to look into therapy/psychiatric help to deal with her trauma, and we've helped her get in touch with a nice lady in town to unpack all this in a more healthy way.
Oh, what a nice lady.
Good. So at least one person is getting the help they need. I have no idea what's happened with Phil or what's going to happen with him, but I did make it clear to my mom that he is not my dad. He's not even my stepdad. I'm not a kid. I'm a 35-year-old adult.
I don't understand why does this point still need to be hammered home? It should have been from the first time he was like, nope, not happening. Should have dropped it. This is unbelievable.
Phil's never going to be either one outside of legal effery. She relented pretty quickly. I think she's finally broken out of her shell at least, and we agree that if things go ahead, that's going to be a huge red line. Though, I don't know if he'll want to be friends with me after all of this. Anyway, thanks for the help on the original post, y'all. Edit. Bit of an update as I can't respond to everybody, but I think the marriage is off.
Whoa! Who would have thought? Sometimes when your bride moves back in with his parents right before the wedding, that might be a sign it's not time.
Phil has gone AWOL again and has had a huge argument with his family, and they've demanded he call off the wedding and date people his own age.
Bro, no way. When your own parents, his parents were like, you're not allowed to get married. When your own parents are still parenting you,
you're not ready to be a parent.
I can't make heads or tails of this, dude. This is so weird.
This apparently made him snap. But you know what, Dakota? We can make everyone here snap like this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do some snaps. Do some like jazz snaps.
Get snappy.
Live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. You can join us on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Facebook. Just join us.
Tap our profile.
I think this is the best decision for everyone.
I think Phil's parents made a great decision by forbidding him to getting married to an older woman.
Phil has a lot of things to sort out, 1,000%. Again, at the very beginning, I was defending Phil because he was being very like heartfelt and like. But then when he posted that thing about being a fatherhood,
where it's like it's ingrained in our biology.
Yeah,
the
that's
responsibility bestowed upon us.
He's got some notion to hold on to fatherhood.
Got a little bit of a hang up there. So Phil might need a little therapy to figure out exactly why that is for him.
Me and my mom have met his mom and older brother, who said Phil is very insecure around girls his own age and has never been able to talk to them. Hence his preference.
Ooh, that
This very deeply upset my mom, and after some begging from all of us, she has agreed to push the wedding back, though she wants to keep dating him.
Oh no.
I have no idea where Phil is, though his brother assumes he's couch surfing with his D&D friends who've been sending me and my brother some not nice messages because clearly we're just so jealous of the... Should I say that? The mom hunter.
The mommy hunter, dude.
If any of you socially inept Fs are reading this, I don't need to chase middle-aged folk because I can talk to boys my own age like a normal person. Peace.
Peace
Purple.
out.
That was a weird story. I'm sorry. That was a very weird story.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I mean, I thought she would I thought the mom would snap out of it and be like, okay, not being with it.
And especially,
I think she will. She's like, fine, I'll push the marriage back or the
I
wedding
think
back.
the mom just is like,
I don't think she wants to accept it.
Regardless.
Hey, if you're in your 60s and there's a 20-year-old guy, like 20-something-year-old guy dating you, it's got to feel pretty good, right?
Oh, grand.
I mean, it's got to feel pretty cool. If you are an older person and a young person is hitting on you, not you hitting on them hitting on you, it's got to make you feel pretty good.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to hear any of you taking that out of context. I am not saying anything like that. I'm just saying, what a confidence booster if you're 65 years old and a 25-year-old guy's like, hey, I'll date you. My parents refused to attend my graduation, so I'm considering cutting contact with them.
Snip, 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 snip.
Snip, snap. Honestly, this is more so to get off my chest than anything. This is my first time using Reddit. I'm a long-time viewer. I, 21 female, have had a rocky relationship with my parents as of late. It's upsetting and frustrating as I try to be a good kid for them. I obey their rules regarding tattoos and piercings. I pay rent and all of my own bills. I don't get into trouble, I rarely drink, and I don't smoke. Sound like a poster child of a perfect baby.
Good job.
Yet, they try their dangest to make me out to be a problem child. By the way, this comes from user Ren Loves Gengar on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Maybe it's because a lot of their friends have what could be considered problem children, and they feel left out. I don't know. I think they hate the fact that I dress alt, as they have had a talk with me about how I need to stop. Which is whack. You should be able to dress how you want. Recently, arguments have been getting worse. They keep insisting I get a job, despite me currently having a minimum wage job, although to be fair, they aren't being generous with hours. Again, I should reiterate, I pay all my own bills, including car bills and rent. Basically, they're acting as if I'm unemployed because I don't get enough hours, and also acting as if I'm lazing about in bed doing nothing, when in reality, I'm doing a lot of chores, pet care, and job hunting, yet my parents seem to think getting a job is so easy, and I'm not trying. They have also kicked me out multiple times following arguments, resulting in me crashing at a friend's or even in my car, despite the freezing temperatures. I'm also a type 1 diabetic and have been left without insulin during some of these times, something which is incredibly dangerous. I should also add they took my key, meaning I have to knock to get in the house whenever I leave. On to the main issue. After one of these arguments, my parents did this thing they do frequently. It's where they bad talk me to each other, but loud enough for me to hear it. My dad said something I fear will stick with me forever. I'm not going to the graduation anymore. I don't want to have to go and pretend to be proud of that. Woo, hey. You know.
Boo you, Dad.
My mom also confronted me later and reiterated they weren't going. It hurt as they knew how hard this year had been for me. I'd suffered multiple losses and almost lost my own life this year. It's a miracle that I passed my course at all. If they're not proud of you, we'll be proud of you.
We're proud of you.
Good job, OP.
Congrats.
As much as it stung, it was a relief. Anyway, I'd only invited them to avoid another argument. They didn't support me at all. They made my life hell, between threatening to send my beloved pet away to turning off the internet when they knew I had assignments due, to criticizing every single breath I took. It meant I could invite my best friend, someone who actually supported me through this hellish year that was 2024. So I did. Only for my mom to approach me yesterday and ask what the plans are for my graduation and what we were doing. Gotta love that one, right?
We didn't mean it, Sonny.
What are you talking about?
Sorry, OP.
I never said that.
Sport, we were just hard love. It was harsh love, sport.
We're just messing around. I was confused, as she had stated they weren't going, and I had no intention of letting the money I'd spent go to waste, and I'd given them to someone else. The tickets, that is. I explained that, and she simply said, "Oh," and she huffed and walked away. Due to unforeseen circumstances that are by no means my friend's fault, she could not attend. So, now I technically had 2 free tickets, but after everything and the trauma they put me through, I didn't want them to go. It was just as well, as they didn't deserve to hear the speeches given to the audience, thanking them for their support towards the graduates. They didn't deserve to feel like they were partially responsible for my success. Way to stand on business, OP.
You don't need them, OP.
Exactly. You don't. It ached seeing everyone else have someone to take pictures and clap for them while I was alone. I at least had my supportive classmates who took pictures for me, but it should have been tears of joy I had, not grief. Well, it's something they'll never be able to take back. They'll never be able to undo the fact I was alone at my graduation, my once-in-a-lifetime event. Whenever I got back home, I had to knock to get in. I stood outside in the freezing cold for several minutes before being let in. My mother didn't even say a word. Not "how did it go? Can I see any pictures?" Just nothing. My dad treated me like a ghost. He didn't even look at me. Is it petty that whenever it comes to my wedding day and my dad asks to walk me down the aisle, I want to repeat the same words back to him? I don't want you to have to pretend you're proud of me. Oof.
I would like that. I mean, hopefully there's a resolvement here, but I don't see it.
No, I don't, and I don't think you have to.
No, but I like that. That would be full circle.
It would be petty, but also like, I don't think you'll have to even do it because
they won't be at the wedding.
People shouldn't be involved in your wedding.
They shouldn't be invited. They should be proud of you and like.
Yeah, I think the only way that I think you should cut these people off. Go no contact with your family once you move out. Whatever, figure out the logistics for that. And keep it that way until they express remorse for their own actions. So, before anyone suggests it, I'm already planning on moving out with a friend. Sorry, OP, I didn't mean that. We found a place and are planning on filling out the form. I'm just wondering if there's any point in keeping a relationship with these people. They treat me so coldly and they criticize my every breath, yet get angry at me because I never talk to them. They don't even feel like my parents anymore. Cutting contact sounds so appealing, but I worry the impact it would have on our other familiar relationships. My brother went through something similar at my age, but has since reconciled with my mom. I fear he would take her side, as my family often do, without even asking me for my side. It's so unfair. I try my best, I work hard, I pay my bills, and I behave. I don't ask them for anything except their love, but even that is too hard for them, it seems. Any advice or insight would be great. Thank you for reading. And there is an update.
Oh, just get into it, honestly.
I'm going to assume your brother would probably be on your side.
I would say, because if your brother went through this, he's been in your shoes.
Hey, all, just thought I'd give you guys an update since the amount of support and comments I got were insane. First of all, I am safe-ish. Life seems promising, and for once, my thoughts are not in a dark place. I still struggle with thoughts of extreme self-hatred, but they're not as often now. I suppose that's understandable given my circumstances. Secondly, our form for a pet-friendly rental was sent off. Fingers crossed that we get accepted. That being said, I may have to sell a lot of things to get the cash. As previously stated in my last post, my job is not being generous with hours. Although my friend is looking into buying her own place and renting me a room, which would be a great solution for the both of us. I also have a job interview next week.
Woohoo!
Yeah, if your job's not giving you enough hours, I hate to say, you got to get another one. Full-time job in a pharmacy. Ooh, and while I will need to study for an additional qualification, they should support me through if I land it. Additionally, I did get a phone call from another employer. The role I applied for, which is relevant to the qualification I'd gotten at graduation, had been filled, but they expect to potentially have more roles soon and requested to keep my information until that date. So things are looking promising for my career. Other than that, I may try out the Amazon Flex thing for extra cash, which I've heard mixed reviews about that. Anyway, as I'm writing this, I'm preparing for a date with a really nice guy that I've hit it off with. Although I wish he could have came at a less turbulent point in my life, he does make me happy. We text constantly all day, race to see who can say good morning first, etc.
Aw.
Yeah, it's cute. My documents are all safe in the glove box of my car. Even if my parents theoretically have access to my keys, they don't know where my documents are. Thank you to all those who asked or gave advice. I've also checked my credit score, and it seems good for someone my age. At least that's what my friend said. It's ranging 600 to 900 depending on the website. Well, that's a bit of a...
That's a big margin.
That's a bit of a spread there.
I'll take those numbers.
So I don't believe they've taken anything out in my name, which, yeah, that's good. Some more positive news. I met up with my cousin on my father's side, and I let him know a little bit about what's going on and all my fears. According to him, our family all crap talk my parents anyway, as they think they're a little, how do I put it, not right in the head. As apparently my parents delivered a whole anti-vax speech to them. So if things do blow up, I'll hopefully still have some family at least. But that's about it for now. I have another house viewing in about an hour, but I'm unsure if I'll make it. My mom insisted I do some last-minute errands for her and exploded when I told her I was busy. So I think until I'm out, I'll just keep the peace, smile and nod, and tiptoe on those eggshells. I just have to keep reminding myself that it does get better. I remember sleeping in my car in the cold, dodgy area, wondering if it was worth it to keep going. OP, I think you've got a real good story of resilience.
You do.
And overcoming adversity.
And again, we're proud of you.
Coming your way. You're on the upswing. You're on your I don't want to say revenge arc, but your
new life arc. It's just new arc.
Transcendence arc. That's
your adult arc that you don't need your parents.
You know what we need?
What do we need, Dakota?
We need you to join us.
Okay.
Whenever we go live. Every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitch. Just tap our profile.
Just tap it. Let's check on OP. We got a little bit more on OP here and see what they're up to. Again, they're texting good morning.
Yeah.
They're racing to the finish, and I love that.
They have a wonderful new relationship, which is great.
Very cute.
I think definitely you could even lean a little further into the family for support. I think this is I don't like the way you said safe-ish. I feel like if you don't feel safe in that house, it sounds like you have a support system via your family to sort of get out of that situation immediately. And I think you should take that. Amazing how much things can change in a few weeks, huh? I guess when you hit rock bottom, the only way to go is up. If things seem awful right now for you, please don't ever give up. It may seem like there's no point, but your life can turn around completely in a matter of weeks. Sounds like OP's on the upswing.
Yeah, look at that.
Again, thank you for all the lovely comments. I read every single one, but could not find the time to reply to them all. I appreciate you all, and I'll try to keep you guys updated. Thank you again. And that is the end of that story.
Proud of you, OP. Again, like I said, you're going up. Like we said, you're going up. No contact.
I can see it in my mind's eye, OP's ideal life unfolding before them. I think they did it.
There you go.
I think they did it.
We're proud of you. Good job, OP.
Let's get a round of applause for OP. Transcending toxic family dynamics.
My dad is constantly complaining because he can't wear shoes in our house.
This is my parents.
Yeah, I know.
I have to yell at them. I'm like, stop wearing shoes in our house.
My husband, 37 male, and I, 35 female, are currently pregnant with our first child after getting married and buying a house earlier this year. This would be my parents' first grandchild, and they are very much looking forward to it. The problem is that my parents have caused a rift between themselves and my husband, and he doesn't have any interest in coming back from it. By the way, this comes from Touchin' Grass 89 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Go submit your stories over there. So
do it.
A little bit of backstory. Husband and I have been together for nearly 11 years after meeting in a city that we both had moved to, far from both of our families. I am a white Latina and he is a person of color. I grew up in a household where it was acceptable to openly joke about race and religion. I obviously do not agree with this.
Okay.
Do you see where this is going? Put some ICUs in the chat.
Not a great
if you see
start.
I moved out at 19, educated myself, and know better at my grown age. Unfortunately, my parents still think this type of talk is acceptable. I constantly have to call them out and point out things they say that are rude and offensive. It's gotten to be a bit exhausting. On top of that, my father has major only child syndrome. The world revolves around him. He is never wrong. He is stubborn, doesn't like to be challenged, etc. Classic Latino machismo type of guy. My mom, even though she doesn't always agree with his behavior, will still try to defend him because that's her husband. I would also like to point out that there have been a couple members of my dad's family that have gone no contact with him because of how he acts, and others turn a blind eye because that is just how he is. So the dad is kind of like the worst.
Yeah. So the dad kind of sucks.
Kind of sucks. In a family full of people that are making some choice jokes, the dad has the choicest jokes. Despite all of this, my parents do their best to show me love, which usually comes in the form of financial assistance. Money, please.
Money.
They help pay for our wedding, gifted us some money for our house. They have good intentions. They just don't know how to act right. So my parents planned their first visit to come see our new home 2.5 hours away from where they live. My husband goes out of his way to clean, buys a mattress for them. We had been living there only for 2 months at this point, plans meals, makes reservations for a restaurant, plans activities, etc. He goes above and beyond to make sure we have a good time. However, from the moment they arrive, my parents complain.
Yay.
We have a no shoes rule in our home, which nobody else has an issue with, but for some reason, it's extremely hard for them to abide by, and they whine about it every time they come inside. Literally, we've never had a problem, except on Halloween. Someone was like, but my shoes are part of my
part of my
costume."
outfit. And I was like,
But I don't care.
okay.
Take them off. My dad asks why he has to take them off when our carpet isn't even new. It shouldn't matter. Next comes the unsolicited advice about what we got to do / buy for the house. Again, we just moved in. We are expecting a child. Fixing up the house right away is not our number one priority. We took them out for lunch and my dad complained about the restaurant asking for a tip when he had to go pick up his food at the counter. My husband and I made dinner that night. He was excited to cook for my parents as he had brought some yummy things to grill that evening. Dude, I'm waiting for the shoe to drop.
I know.
I'm waiting.
It's coming.
When we sit down for dinner, my dad takes a bite and his first response is, well, that's interesting. This was after he had been sleeping on the couch all evening, not even bothering to lift a finger. My mom at least came over and offered some assistance. Plenty of other things happened that day, but the list would be too long for this post. The next day, as we were coming back from an outing, my dad again complained about having to take his shoes off. My husband explained that for him, it was a cultural thing, to which my dad responded with, well, my daughter ain't part of that culture. My husband, so I only should take off one shoe. My husband brushed off the comment, but then added, you're aware that your grandson is going to be part of that culture, right? To which my dad replied, we'll see.
Oh my God.
And that was the last straw. My husband left, called me from his car in a parking lot, and told me my parents needed to leave. After a lot of back and forth, they ended up getting a hotel for the remainder of their stay and had not spoken to my husband since until yesterday.
Okay.
What do you think they're going to say? Do you think they're going to be understanding or no?
Hopefully. I mean, like, come on, this is your child's partner.
I feel like they're not going to be understanding.
I don't think the dad will be.
Yeah. My mom reached out to apologize for her behavior.
Okay.
And he was very open to hearing her out. He honestly wasn't even too upset with her and felt she just got caught up in my dad's shenanigans. Except it wasn't an apology. Not even close. Instead of owning up to her actions, she basically doubled down and tried to defend what they had done. At one point, my husband flat out asked, are you just big? And instead of saying no, or that she was trying to work on that part of herself, she said, that's just how my family jokes.
Ah!
Yeah.
Ah!
She then went on to tell my husband that she thinks he should call my dad and that my dad has just become angry over the situation. It goes without saying that this call only made things 10 times worse.
Oh, no.
So at this point, He's basically told me that he doesn't want anything to do with my family. He is done trying to be nice to them and that he doesn't want our child around them and that he's upset with me for bringing him into this.
I think that's a very fair. I think it's very fair. I don't think any person of color owes like being in that situation to anyone.
Yeah. One detail I would like to add is that he does have a history with my family where he doesn't let them push him around. We did live 25 minutes away from my family for nearly 6 years at one point and saw them semi-regularly, so he is aware of how they are. I think what has changed is that he no longer has to think about how they treat just him, but now he has to think about how they potentially treat our child.
Exactly.
And it's like, if they're going to be racist towards him.
Yeah, how are they going to treat my child?
And what's that child's self-worth going to be like?
Exactly. You do not want to raise a child around people, especially in your own family.
Yeah. So how do I feel about all this? Truthfully, I'm sick of my family's behavior. It hurts because I do love them, but I'm also not going to let them disrespect my husband, and I don't think he should have to put up with how they treat him. His family has issues, but they have been nothing but kind to me since we have been together. They reach out to me to talk and ask how I'm doing. They show that they actually care about me. They've been a big part of the last 7 months and can't wait to meet our baby. By the way, we can't wait to meet you on YouTube and Facebook every weekday at 3 p.m. BST. Just tap our profile. We're probably live right now.
Stop it.
There's another relevant update, but yeah, I feel like the joking racism is not going to be a good look for this kid.
No.
And good on the husband for like
standing up for himself and being like, I'm not.
Well, he's not standing up for himself.
He's standing up for
he's standing
his
up for the kid because
yes.
he's like, he took it before and he's like, wait, no. I can't even. I need to stand up for my child.
Yeah.
I don't think I should be stressed and concerned about my family right now. If they are angry and upset, they can thank themselves for their actions. My main priority is just getting through this pregnancy. Part of me feels terrible that this is the experience that they chose to have while anticipating the arrival of their first grandchild, but they've had the opportunity to work on this and decided they weren't interested. I think low contact is the way to go for now. And OP, I think you're right.
I think so.
Low contact. I don't think you need
until
to
they apologize.
cut them off.
Not necessarily.
But I think like they've earned low contact.
I think so. Yeah, I think until they come to their senses, if they have them.
If they have senses.
And realize what they did hurt you and your partner.
Yep.
And come and apologize, then they don't deserve to have a relationship with you.
And it's not even that they don't deserve it. It's like that relationship could damage your child. So
exactly.
why would you let them do that?
Why would you? Yeah. Why would you even chance that?
Exactly. But we do got one more
story.
My kids hid their mom's affair, so I'm prioritizing my brother's kids over them.
Oh, maybe you don't keep that secret from your dad.
I, 57 male, was married to my wife for almost 25 years. We divorced 4 years ago after I found out about her infidelity. She had an affair partner for almost 5 years. She is now with her affair partner. The whole process hurt me a lot because everything I did in life, I did it for my wife and kids. And now to find out about my wife, it just hurt me. By the way, this comes from OK Principles on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So my two children, 29 female and 26 male, had known about the affair for years and they hid it from me.
No.
They both felt very guilty about it, and I don't blame them because they didn't want to break up their family. My daughter even cried a lot and apologized a lot of times. I told her it was all right. They had their own life now, and I didn't want this eating them up. So I told them just to let go of the guilt. However, since I found out that they had hidden the affair from me, I lost a lot of love for them. I wasn't going to cut them out of my inheritance or will or anything like that, but emotionally, I couldn't connect with them at all. I also have a niece, 30 female, and a nephew, 28 male, who I have been very close with. You get one practice family, so it looks like he's going to the next family. Especially since their father passed away at a really young age. I played a father-like role during their young years because losing her husband at such a young age was very tough for my sister. Over the last 4 years, I have also been looking forward to spending more time with them. Both my niece and nephew have children, and they have had invited me over for their children's birthdays. They have also invited me over for their own birthdays on Father's Day and holidays. Overall, we are a very tight-knit, multi-generational family, and I'm very proud to be a grandpa to their children, and we are already developing a bond. However, in doing so, I have also lost all interest in connecting with my own children. My daughter has 2 children, while my son has his first child on the way. They have invited me over multiple times, but I've told them I'm busy. I rarely go over, if at all, and I've missed almost all of their children's special occasions. I am not really interested in being a grandpa to their children. Monetarily, sure, I have been sending them gifts, but I just don't feel like seeing them at all. My daughter especially seems very hurt at it at times, but I'm sure she understands the reason for this. Am I the a-hole? Comments. Silvertrack99 says, you say it's all right, but is it really? Don't lie to yourself. Tell them the truth. Tell them it was not okay. And effing dumb Karen says, you're absolutely right. Also, I'm curious if his children maintained a relationship with their mother and her former affair partner / current partner, if they would be present for the same events. If so, it would be a major salt in the wound for OP to attend. Ches2202 says, not the a-hole for prioritizing your niece and nephew, but you do need to be honest with your children and tell them that they lost your trust when they didn't tell you about their mother's affair. Telling them not to feel guilty about it was obviously a kindness from you to make them feel better, but you should have told them also that even though you don't want them to suffer from guilt, you also don't trust them. And Sarcastic Pediment says, I've seen this before. We've read this person's comment before, and I get it wrong every time. Sarcastic Pediment says, it's more than that, though. They caused irreparable damage to their relationship, and he has forgiven, but he can't forget and pretend they are cool. If he tells them he lost trust, they may try to work on it and increase their contact. If he explains that he understands why they did what they did, and that means he forgives them, he is not able to forget. Maybe they will see this is a direct consequence of their actions. The shame is, it isn't OP's grandkids' fault, and now his ex-wife has taken away his marriage, his kids, and grandkids, from which is so sad. You disagree with that, don't you?
I'm furious. It's not his children's fault. I'm sorry, was he married to his own kids and then they go cheat on him? No, he was married to his wife that cheated on him. Can you really, hold a grudge for the rest of your life against your own children for not knowing how to navigate one of the most nuclear bomb scenarios they've ever faced in their whole life? By the way, they've probably got their mom in their ear being like, don't tell him because you're going to ruin the whole family and you're going to break us all up. They're afraid. They're petrified. They're not being like, wouldn't it be funny if we never told dad that mom's cheating on him? It's like, I'm scared to my core to say anything about it, so I'm probably going to pretend it's not happening in order to maintain my own sanity. What are you guys talking about?
This is insane. This is so insane.
Comments, am I crazy? Am I off the rails here?
Okay, Leader 7624 says, this is how damaging affairs can be. You're not just effing up your life or your relationship with your spouse. You hurt everyone in the nuclear family and splash damage beyond. OP, this was all your wife's doing. She is the one who cheated. She is the one who put your children in a position to hide what they discovered in the first place. She is the one who continued with their affair partner instead of stopping it right then and there. They knew it was wrong of their mother, but talk about being between a rock and a hard spot. Do we tell dad and break his heart, break up his marriage to our mother, who will be devastated too, uproot our whole lives because we told? Are we now to blame because we didn't want to ruin the whole marriage and family dynamic? Or do we hope to God this all goes away and this family can get back to normal? Your children are your responsibility to protect, not the other way around. Why force that upon them? Doing so ruined your relationship with her and them. You would do yourself a great service to go to counseling. It's just too much to bear alone. Good luck, OP. I truly hope you think about and repair your relationship. They're just as a victim as you are. Dakota, did you comment on this and forgot?
I think I blacked out and forgot I wrote that because that is literally exactly what I've been saying. And I feel like an elephant has been lifted off of my chest. I was so mad at the one before that one.
Yeah.
How dare you people?
Dude, that
this
was
is
wild.
the only person with any... And
person has
he
it right.
executed it perfectly. He didn't go, he didn't get too mean. You're lucky. I know I didn't write that because I would have been way meaner.
He shifted the blame away from the children and said they are also in the same boat as you are, and you don't need to be sinking the boat.
It's absurd. And it's clearly a sign that this guy needs to go to counseling because he's traumatized. And he doesn't have any outlet to put that into because, I would assume the ex-wife is completely out of his life, right? So the only sort of, channel for these lingering feelings he has, I guess, is inevitably getting directed at his kids, which is not fair to anybody involved.
We got a freaking update.
Let's go.
Thank you all for the advice. And one thing I got from most comments was that my children deserve to know the truth, not to be left in a limbo like it was for years. And that's what I just did.
Oh, God. But see, I don't think you're ready to do that. I think you're actually going to end up hurting your kids more. And I hope to God that I'm wrong.
I agree with him. I just got off a video call with my daughter and my son. The call was pretty rough and extremely emotional, but I got everything off my chest. I told them that while I had forgiven them, I could never forget it. And that for my mental health, it was better we limit our interactions. You're so right.
This is so stupid. Did it wrong.
And I hate to say, and I don't want to rush anyone's wounds with time, but it has been 4 years since this happened. And
He got traumatized, dude. Your whole life was a lie, but you're misdirecting it. And you needed to go, before you had this conversation, whoever gave you this advice, it needed to make sure that you do it after therapy. You were not ready to bring this up. And you are only hurting your kids more.
I told them not to feel guilty about anything, but that also after dedicating more than half my life to my wife and children, it was time I put myself first. I told them my heart wasn't in it to be a grandparent to their children. I was also honest with them and told them my heart was only in it for my nephews and my niece's kids. And whenever I did go to their house, I felt joy, but for my own children, I felt nothing. My children probably already knew it, but I wanted them to hear it directly from me. It was really hard to get it off my chest and say it directly to my children's face.
Oh, shut up, dude. Oh, it was really hard for you?
This is how he truly feels. This is how he's truly felt for years. This is hard for him to go through. I don't think what he's doing is right, but saying his true feelings is probably really pretty tough for him.
You weren't ready to do it, bro. You don't even know what your true feelings are because you need to go to therapy.
I told them they were still welcome to come to my house anytime and call me anytime when they needed help.
Yeah, like they're going to do that now that you said you don't care about them and you like your niece and nephew as a son and daughter more than them.
Yeah, by the way, you can come and help Dakota calm down on our live streams every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile when we're live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and TikTok.
The thought of all of you beautiful people has now brought a smile to my face.
It's like the what was the thing?
The axolotl, yeah. You had the right idea, but the timing was wrong, and you needed to have more tact, right?
I'm going to finish this story. Both my children took the call really hard, but I think my daughter took it the worst. Those were really ugly tears, and I felt really bad about it. I do feel a sense of relief, and I have pretty much told all my feelings to my children and did not keep anything secret. I can now move forward with my life, and so can my children.
He's the guy where it's like, oh, well, now that I've said everything, I don't need to go to therapy because I got it off of my chest.
Yeah.
Let this be a lesson to anybody who finds himself in a situation.
But that is the end of the story.
My mother won't stop talking crap about me at my wedding.
Not at your wedding. Wait until after.
My mom and I have never been the closest. I have a twin sister, and pretty early on and throughout our younger years, my mom favored my sister and my dad favored me.
Oh.
At least they each have their favorites.
At least it kind of equaled out, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, my dad got sick in late 2022, and unfortunately, he ended up passing away 2 months later. My boyfriend, now husband, and I had been together for a few years by the time my dad got sick and discussed getting engaged so my dad could give his blessing and celebrate our engagement. The ring we ordered got delivered 1 week to the day before my dad passed.
Oh, that's awful.
That sucks. By the way, this comes from you, Great Sweet 6375 on the ROK Storytime subreddit. So, due to the circumstances and grieving my dad, we decided not to rush our engagement and plan the wedding for September 2024. At the beginning of the planning process, my mom seemed excited. She attended my dress fittings and asked questions about colors, bridesmaids, etc. Throughout the year and a half of planning, she became very distant. Everyone in my family was grieving different, so I went about my life the way I found best. We had spoken a few times before the wedding, but could tell she was very short and uninterested with what I had to say. I invited her to my final dress fitting, and during the appointment, the only comment she made was, "Wow, that's a lot of boob."
You're just freaking jealous.
I know. I wish I had that. Anyways, it wasn't. I had asked my mom at that appointment if she could stay at our house the day of the wedding to help watch our dogs, and she agreed. A week before, she texted saying her sister is flying in for the wedding and needed to drive closer to the airport that night so she can no longer watch our dogs and that she would not be staying the entire wedding.
What? Because her sister's coming in?
I guess.
But it's your wedding.
Yeah, come on now. I was distraught, but unfortunately not surprised by the way she'd been acting towards me the last year. Fast forward to the wedding, my husband and I laughed. We cried, we said I do. All was well. A couple weeks after, several of my friends had texted asking what was wrong with my mom the day of the wedding. They went on saying that every time someone went up to her saying how beautiful the bride was, she would respond with, "Well, have you seen my other daughter?"
What? That's ridiculous.
Or,
That's crazy.
"My other daughter is so beautiful." That's so messed up.
That's really messed up. Like,
They're
this
both
is her
your
yeah.
daughters.
Why are you? Yeah. Why are you pitting them against each other?
That is so rude. I had overheard her saying that once during the day, but brushed it off. My boss then approached me and told me that he and his girlfriend introduced themselves to my mom that day. My mom proceeded to say, "Do you know she has no education? And, well, it's crazy she makes more money than I do, and I have a master's degree."
Why is
So
your
she's
mom
jealous.
She's so jealous.
So why wouldn't you want your child to make more money than
Literally,
you?
why wouldn't you want to be like, oh, both of my children are amazing. They're so brilliant. Blah, blah, blah. I get to brag about my children. Instead, your mom's your biggest op.
That's crazy. The cherry on top was when we were cutting the cake. My wedding planner had announced the cake cutting while my husband and I were taking pictures. She turned to another one of my friends and goes, "Ha, do you think I have to stay for this?"
Why are you talking to other people who are obviously there to support your daughter?
This lady sounds like a adolescent,
She
not
does.
a full-grown adult.
Yeah, she's just like gossiping about her daughter.
Needless to say, I was a wreck after hearing all the comments. What was supposed to be an important day for both of us, and all she could do was make bitter comments. She had texted me about a month after the wedding, asking why I hadn't been texting her back in our family group chat. I wonder why. I responded just letting her know that I am distancing myself from our relationship due to the comments she made about me at the wedding. She proceeded to go off saying that all the friends I've made since I moved away from home are liars and that everyone in my life has lied to me about what she said.
Yeah, she's like, I never said any of those things, even though I said some of it to you and
Yeah.
you heard it.
I call BS. That I shouldn't trust anyone to tell me the truth but her. She said that my dad would be utterly disappointed in me for cutting out my own mother and how I've continued to make my dad sad.
She's like trying to gaslight OP, but is doing it poorly.
Way to like bring in your passed away father to like manipulate.
Oh my God, I forgot that the father passed.
Literally passed. That's just...
She's a monster.
That's wild. She then ended the text by saying she doesn't want to be in this world anymore thanks to me. That is so manipulative.
So manipulative. Oh my God.
This woman needs to go get help.
Yeah.
I'm at such a loss. I've been going to therapy to try to figure out why she hates me as much as she does and what I did to make her hate me. We've concluded that because I was so close with my dad that she is associating me with him. But that still doesn't justify trying to humiliate me on my wedding day. I feel like I've lost both my parents in the same time frame. Am I the a-hole for distancing myself from her to better my own mental health?
No. You're never
You're
the
not the
a-hole
a-hole
for
taking care
prioritizing
of
yourself. Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's like I would love for families
to be perfect,
and to be harmonious and to put family first. But the reality is sometimes you need to put yourself first.
Yeah, you got to put yourself first because otherwise you're not going to be able to. I mean, it wouldn't improve the relationship you have with your mom. It would just make your life worse.
Yeah, you're not the a-hole. Edit. Thank you to everyone who commented and gave advice. This has all been a lot to process, but needless to say, distance is the best solution for my own well-being. I do not have an official update, but will update in the future if anything newsworthy happens. To answer a couple questions that I've gotten in the comments, My sister has been amazing throughout this situation. She is my best friend, and although we have very different perspectives of our mom, growing up, neither of us had a picture-perfect childhood. She has defended me whenever my mom has made negative comments about me and is creating distances between their relationship as well.
Wow. So now even the favorite child.
Yeah, that's very telling.
Well, I think also sometimes when you grow up with kind of this like narcissistic and manipulative mother, even the child that is being like prioritized and favorited is still affected in just in a different way.
For sure.
And has that like pressure on them.
Yeah. By the way, don't distance yourself from us, and you can join us live on YouTube and Facebook every weekday at 3 p.m. PST.
Just tap our profile.
Type our profile. We're probably live right now.
Go check.
There's another relevant update, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think right move, distance yourself. You can bond with your sister.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to worry about your mom and enjoy your, I mean, it seems like you did already have your wedding, so
yeah.
enjoy married life.
You do you, and feel free to call out your mother and say that she's being manipulative and it's not fair.
Agreed.
I put in my original post that she was distant and short with me during the 1.5 years after my dad passed. It would have created a much longer post if I had really gone into all the details, and I was primarily focusing on the wedding situation. Our relationship had been straining for a while before the wedding due to her not allowing me to grieve. Anytime I'd call her for comfort, I would get comments like, "You're so lucky he was only your dad and not your spouse."
What does that mean?
What kind of statement is that?
What does that even mean?
You're so glad he was only your father and not your husband.
Like
that
it's
passed
so much
away.
it's so much of a greater
but
loss.
But also, like, what?
Yeah. So just like she's making a trauma grief Olympics.
Yeah, literally like, oh, actually, he's my husband, so I win.
Yeah, that's not a win.
Wow. And I do not understand why you're so upset when he was only your father.
That's crazy. What? That's crazy.
That does not make any sense.
Only your father?
Wow. I ultimately knew me distancing myself from her was the end solution, but the wedding was the final straw. That's the end of the story.
My mother condoned my husband and sister cheating, so my father divorced her.
Well, shouldn't it be fine? Because mom said it was okay.
Mom said I could cheat on her with her if I wanted to. So as long as I was home by 10.
Dad, mom said it was okay.
This has been the most traumatic year of my life, and I'm wondering if I'm being too harsh or if I'm justified in my choices. I, female 35, was married to my husband, male 42, for 8 years. We have 2 kids together, a son, 9, and a daughter, 7. I thought our life was stable and happy until everything unraveled 7 months ago. By the way, this comes from Clickling Pop on the OK Storytime subreddit. So I found out that my husband was cheating on me with my younger sister, 24. I didn't discover it through subtle clues or intuition. My son overheard an inappropriate conversation between the two of them at a family gathering and came to me confused and upset. I mean, traumatizing, W son.
How old is that son? Do we have any information on that? Probably
9.
not.
9.
9?
Yeah.
Dude, these kids are like little
W's.
geniuses.
When I confronted my husband, he denied it at first, but eventually admitted to the affair. I was utterly shattered. But what made it even worse was that my mom sided with husband and sister. She defended their actions, saying, "Your sister's young. She doesn't know any better." Girl, I'm 23 and I know better. What are you talking about?
Their own mother defended that behavior?
She's not a baby. She's 24 years old.
You're crazy.
And your husband must have felt neglected to fall for someone else. Then she had the audacity to suggest I forgive them and keep the family together for the kids.
I know why she's crazy now. I remember the title of the story.
But she's a cheater too. My dad, on the other hand, was furious. He called out my mom's behavior, told her she was enabling betrayal, and eventually filed for divorce from her because he couldn't tolerate her lack of morals. He's been one of my few sources of support through all of this. I filed for divorce immediately and cut off my mom and sister completely. My kids have been struggling with the fallout. My son is especially angry and has told me he doesn't want anything to do with his dad. My daughter is quieter but has been acting out in small ways, and she's 7. We've been going to therapy together, and I've been doing everything I can to help them navigate this while also trying to heal myself. Over the past few months, I've started putting my life back together. I focused on my kids, leaned on my dad and close friends for support, and even started dating someone new, female 36. She's been incredible, kind, understanding, and supportive. She's great with my kids, and they've grown to love her, which makes me feel like I can finally see a light at the end of the tunnel. But the chaos isn't over. My sister's relationship with my ex-husband has completely fallen apart. Shocking, right? Now she's blaming my mom, saying she encouraged the whole thing. I mean, she did. Like, own up to your own actions, but she did. My mom, meanwhile, is blowing up my phone, accusing me of tearing the family apart by refusing to forgive them. She says my new relationship is a slap in the face to our family and claims I'm being selfish for not letting her or my sister back into my life. To top it off, my ex-husband has been reaching out, begging for forgiveness and asking for a second chance. He's telling me it was all a mistake and that he misses me and the kids. Of course, they all come crying back to OP, but OP's in a happy relationship.
I miss my old life before I completely ruined it by my own actions.
It's the consequences of your own actions.
I'm now the ghost of relationship past.
Because it's not in your present or your future. Stupid. You done goofed it up when you cheated on her.
My son and daughter both want nothing to do with him, but I'm conflicted about how much of a relationship, if any, they should have with their father. My dad and friends say I'm doing the right thing by cutting out toxic people and focusing on rebuilding my life. But the guilt tripping from my mom and sister is starting to wear me down. And I'm wondering if I'm being too harsh. You're not. Your mom is crazy and your sister's awful too. Should I try to reconcile with my mom and sister for the sake of my family? Should I give my ex more of a chance to be involved for the sake of the kids? Am I the a-hole for divorcing my husband, cutting off my mom and sister, and moving forward with my life and new relationship? And there is an edit, and I believe an update, but what do we say at OP?
I mean, I don't think you're the a-hole for like leaving this guy and wanting nothing to do with him, but it's like, no, you're not an a-hole because also you brought up the fact that you are concerned like about the impact it could have on the kids.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important and needs to be addressed probably in a like clinical setting, like by a therapist.
I think they're going to therapy. I think they said
Yeah.
that.
So it's like that is where that decision needs to be made. Maybe that the kids don't want anything to do with their dad.
Yeah,
and they
but-
come to that decision on their own. And then, you know, you can move forward by trusting their intuition and their feelings.
I do think that like going forward, it's trying to figure out how to co-parent the best way possible, which doesn't mean that you're like together at all. Like, don't ever get back with this man.
I definitely would
but yeah.
not go back. I don't think OP is going to go out of the way to like try to turn the kids against the dad any more than he's already done it himself.
The son caught them.
Yeah.
So that's already kind of tricky. It's like you can't do much there. But there is an edit. But you're not the a-hole, OP. Edit. I have changed my number and I'm currently moving. No, I don't speak to any of my ex-husband's family. And apparently the snitch was my aunt and her husband. Are we shocked? So I'm officially not speaking to them. And for the people complaining about the fact my kids know my girlfriend, so what? My children adore her. Also for the custody. It's 60-40, meaning I can choose which schedule the kids can have with their father since I'm the primary. No, I'm not forcing my kids to not speak to their dad. They've told me numerous times that they don't like going to my ex-husband's house, and I respect that. I'm currently going for full custody. For the people telling me to get a restraining order, my lawyer said they haven't done anything to endanger my children, so I legally can't get one. My dad also has some suspicions that my mom cheated on him with how she was defending the affair. Yeah, I believe that.
I would be extra suspicious of her
Yeah, she's like,
after hearing
honestly, you
those
should
little...
just forgive someone if they cheat.
Yeah.
Not that I would ever do it.
He wasn't meeting your needs, or you weren't meeting his needs clearly.
I mean, he was being neglected.
Just like I am in my relationship. Boo-hoo.
Yeah. But there is an update. So let's get into it. Wow, there are a lot of homophobes in the replies. I want to first say thank you all for the kind messages and some kind replies. Now for the update. The people that suggested my mom may have cheated / had an affair were correct. Apparently, my mom cheated on my dad early in the relationship, but said she stopped the affair when my dad found out. Spoiler, she didn't. We aren't exactly sure if my sister is my father's child, and quite frankly, we hope she isn't. As for my ex-husband, yes, he is allowed to visit his children. He just refuses to see them because my kids hate being around him, not because I'm restricting it as people are claiming. I have 60-40 custody, and the judge granted me full permission to set a schedule on when my kids see their father, as long as he isn't completely out of their lives. It also might help that the affair he had with my sister, no one knows how long it went, but my son has spoken to me, which is hard for him, and said that he's always seen his daddy talking to my sister, so it's definitely gone on since she was early 20s, which is yikes. My children are completely fine. They are currently in therapy for this and other stuff. No schoolwork has been affected, and my girlfriend certainly isn't affecting them. Matter of fact, they love her in the few times she's here. For those curious, my son is turning 10 soon, and he heard more than one of these conversations. He only told me about this one because he understood what they were saying, which is traumatizing for a child to literally listen to. But you know what you should always listen to? Us! And join us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitch.
We'll whisper sweet nothings to
into your
you.
ear.
Or sweet somethings. Who knows? You'll have to join to find out.
Who's to say? But there is a little bit left to the story, but that's pretty tricky. I mean, like, seems like they truly don't want anything to do with their dad right now.
Yeah, and you got to respect that in that moment. It's like you don't want to pull them either way. I think it's smart of the court to be like, well, you guys, you can have like the full plan. You can make the schedule.
Yeah.
As long as he's not completely cut out, because it's like, to be fair, it's like at some point the kids could change their mind. It's like they got a lot of life left, and right now it's probably really raw for them.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I mean, again, the son heard it.
Is probably still realizing more stuff from the sound of it. It's like realizing that, yeah, they've been talking for a long time. Oh, they were always talking. Daddy was always talking to her and stuff like. So it's hard, but I think you're on the right track here.
I think you're going to figure it out. And there is a little bit left. A massive FU to the homophobes. My children adore my partner. No, she isn't like a second parent to them. She also loves them as well and is in no way trying to take on a fatherly role in their life.
Shout out to all of those people and shut up.
Yeah,
please.
shout out and freaking shut up.
Shut your stinky trash mouth.
And for the people claiming this is AI, Lord, I wish it was. I'm flattered you think my life is fake. I wish it was, but sadly it isn't. And that is the end of that story.
My boyfriend's mother torments us with her toxicity. She called 911 on us.
Who's calling 911 if it's not an emergency?
Yeah.
That's illegal.
My boyfriend's mom is easily one of the worst people I've ever encountered in my entire life, and it is a miracle that her son, my boyfriend, has turned out to be such an incredible, kind, loving person. She has serious, blatant mental issues that aren't being treated, and I oscillate between feeling intense sadness for her and pure hatred. By the way, this comes from random acts of paranoia on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Some examples of her behavior just from the past year. She filed a restraining order against her own brother over a financial trust dispute. Her father passed away last year, and he was apparently very wealthy, and there was a big trust fund to fight over. I don't know what happened between her and her brother, but I watched her behavior at the hospital while her father passed away, and she was an awful witch. Her own mother, who has severe dementia, was beside herself. Every 30 minutes, she had to be reminded that we were in the hospital with her husband of 50 years on his deathbed. My boyfriend's mother was seriously nasty to her, and even hospital staff noticed and tried to protect her. Oh, wow. The trust should have gone to the widow, and her brother took it over to provide medical care and living arrangements for her. She fought this tooth and nail, insisting that the money was hers. She sued him for the money and lost. Well, yeah.
Yeah, because
it
it's
makes
supposed
sense.
to go to the,
Yeah, whoever's like on the trust probably.
Yeah.
She remains extremely bitter about this. She is very jealous of my boyfriend's niece's grandmother, the other grandma, and badmouths her to this 6-year-old child, saying things like, "Grandma Mary is a bee." Grandma Mary, by the way, is sweet, timid, and very quiet. Every Christmas, without fail, she blows up. The mother-in-law, not Grandma Mary. We hosted her at our home last Christmas, and all seemed well until she found out that we were going to Vegas the next week to celebrate my birthday. She stormed out and drove home, then on Christmas Day wrote an email stating, "You are no longer my children." Whoa. Period. Like I said, I have learned my lesson. I am sure Mary will take you in, as that seems to be her MO. My boyfriend pulled up email records from the past 5 years, and there is always an email like this sent to the entire family on Christmas. What? Why Christmas? She's like, Christmas is canceled.
She's like,
every
you guys
year.
ruined Christmas again.
She lives 2 hours away, but had a dance event where we live this past summer. We agreed to host her for a couple of days, but when she informed us it would be nearly 5 full days and we had evening plans on some of them, we asked if she could stay at my boyfriend's brother's house. She gets violently angry if we're not in the home to entertain her. This caused the biggest uproar you could ever imagine. She told my boyfriend that he was a horrible son, told him to F himself, and that she hated him. Dude.
She sounds like she has some like mental issues
OP
here.
did say that she has some mental issues because you know the other brother is still your son, so like why can't you go with them too?
It seems like this is like it could be something along the lines of like bipolar or something. Because this is it's
very extreme.
Very
stuff.
extremes.
When she finally got to our house a couple of days later, she ran into the house screaming and demanded he go get all of her stuff out of the car. He was miserably sick, and when she found this out, she told him she ought to slap him upside the head for having her there.
She's the one
you're the one that wanted to be there and got mad when they said no.
Unbelievable.
He debated telling her he was sick, but thought she would blow up. Either way, there was no winning. We were under the impression that she would be at her event through the weekend, but instead she sat around our home complaining and being generally awful. We both had important work to do over the weekend that we could not do because she was there. When she offered to sweep and mop the floors, we didn't stop her because it gave her a distraction. I guess, there you go.
She's like, I'm going to sweep because it's filthy. And they're
right,
like,
it's like, just do it. Oh no. Please, let me do that. She later wrote an email stating, I am trying to get out and meet people, but you all curtail any effort. I don't have any friends. My whole life has been condemned to the enslavement of others, whether I want to or not. The final straw was giving up the afternoon dance events to mop and clean for the son.
Wow. You can't, like, the thing is, like, you can't even argue with people like this.
You can't.
They can't hear it.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Because it's like, I mean, even if there's something like bipolar disorder, like, I'm sure there's some sort of, like, I don't know how to diagnose, but maybe some sort of, like, narcissism. Could be something
along those lines.
Yeah,
like
like
some sort of mental.
Right. And even, like, I'm thinking, like, even if besides mental things, like, there's probably just other, like, things maybe that she grew up with that just, like, never quite learned how to handle things properly or something like that. It's a very tricky situation.
Indeed.
I would have paid her to leave that day. This is just a mild example of how her mind works and how she justifies her own behavior. One of her lifelong dreams was to drive the Pacific Coast Highway. My boyfriend tried to make that dream a reality for her last month. Together, they planned the cities to stop at, activities they wanted to do, the type of car that they wanted to drive. They agreed about who would pay for what. I was invited on this trip and reluctantly agreed to go. We all discussed payment and agreed I would pay for my own food and activities while they would split car and hotel costs since I didn't have a say in any of it and it was technically their trip. After the dance event incident, she wrote an email stating, I am only going to Cali at this point because OP would be forced to go 50-50 with the son, even though she makes less than him, but it wouldn't be that much fun. But isn't this
I don't get that part. It sounds like she's like, I'm only going to California so I can make OP pay money.
Like, if I think the mother-in-law is now thinking like they are gonna go on this trip and split 50-50, but since OP can't pay 50-50, then I'm going so that I can like lessen the costs. I think that's what she's saying.
Oh, so she's like, I'm helping people. I'm helping them.
Yeah, like I'm like providing charity, pretty much. She wrote this to the entire family for some reason. We moved forward with the trip, aware of the potential risks. Things blew up way beyond whatever we had planned, though. We expected anger and childlike behavior from her, but the justification from my boyfriend is that if it would improve her happiness levels even slightly, it was worth it. On the last day, she has a tendency to get very upset the day a trip ends. While discussing payments, she just lost it. We were in the car and she started screaming about how awful we were at the top of her lungs. She screamed bloody murder at me for things I've never even said or thought. She brought up things from years ago that have since been distorted in her mind. And when my boyfriend said that the screaming needed to stop or we would have to just head to the airport early, our flight was about 8 hours from then, and a 2-hour drive, She lost it even further. She called 911 and insisted that we were both holding her hostage and about to abandon her.
Wait, what?
Oh my gosh. This woman, like, exaggerating everything.
Everything
to the
is
fullest extent.
Everything is you're attacking me.
We had to pull over in a fancy hotel parking lot, no less, and the cops came and questioned all of us. Within 5 minutes, they caught on to her mental health issues and hysteria. They forced her to vacate the car and separate from us. She got hysterical again, begging to not have to leave and that she would just shut up. When they said it was a bad idea to stay together, she asked for the police report number so that she could file a restraining order against my boyfriend.
She's collecting these restraining orders
really
like
is.
Pokemon cards.
Yeah. Yeah, even though, like, are they gonna do?
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? He gave her money for a car and food for the day and drove away in shock. So why am I writing all this? Partially to vent. Partially because I feel like I'm going crazy. My boyfriend said I need to just separate myself from her alternate reality and not let it affect me, but I simply cannot do that no matter how much I try. I think she needs mental help, but my boyfriend just says that's the way she is. The thing is, there's always a summer blow up like this, and then about a month before Christmas, she writes an email that says, "So when do you want to celebrate Christmas? And whose place am I staying?" It just cannot happen again this year. I don't want her in my life, and I especially don't want her ruining my favorite time of year for the 3rd year in a row. Am I being overly sensitive? Should I just put up with her behavior? How do we move forward in a healthy way? And there are some relevant comments, but Sophia, what do you think?
I think your boyfriend is being underly sensitive. And you should not have to put up with this behavior, this like very intense behavior. And I think that you need to tell your boyfriend, like, this is not normal. This is not normal behavior.
Right.
And you should try and get her help. If she refuses, that's, there's not much you can do after that. But like, try and do something.
Yeah.
Because I can't live like this. Or we just need to like limit contact with her because, again, it's a lot.
Yeah. Because I mean, for the boyfriend, like, this is someone who
has been his
grew
whole
up
life.
with,
Yeah,
so he's probably just like really used to it, and then this is very new for OP, and like, I'm sure he had his like, breakdown with it and then got through it or something like that, you know what I mean? I'm sure he's had his time to cope and to figure out how to live with it, but OP is like just now starting to deal with this problem, so it's like, maybe she has not like,
like when you go into a musty room and the person who like lives in that room is like, oh hey, and you're like, whoa, it stinks in here.
Blind.
Yeah, and they're like, nah, I didn't even smell it. It's like,
right,
because you've been there the whole time.
Exactly. There are some relevant comments, so let's see if they agree with us. American Girl says, "You don't have a mother-in-law problem, you have an SO problem." That's just the way she is a fine attitude when someone over decorates for Christmas or is obsessed with polka music. It does not apply when the person is a psycho lunatic and the police need to be called. If your boyfriend doesn't start setting some boundaries and continues to enable her crazy, you may want to think seriously about trading him in for a guy who has a spine and can say no to his mother. Ooh. Run, do not walk to Just No Mail. They can help.
Dang, man.
Dang, that's harsh. That's harsh.
Yeah.
OP says, "To be fair, after the summer dance event incident, we came together and made a joint decision that she could no longer stay in our home. That was a healthy discussion, a big step for him, and the line we drew brought us both relief. Also, me going on that trip was my decision, and I could have said no. He did not force me and wouldn't have made me feel guilty for not going. Still, I didn't think that it was a good idea to do the trip in the first place, and I did want to support him. We agreed after that trip that there would be no more trips like that while she was still this unhealthy." And there is an update. But it's interesting that like they agreed that like, while she was still this unhealthy, even though he's kind of like doesn't seem to be putting an effort to like get her help.
Yeah,
it's like this isn't just gonna like solve itself.
Yeah, like he recognizes that this isn't like it isn't good,
it's not healthy,
and doesn't want to make the step to fix anything.
Weird.
Again, there is only so much that he can do because she does have to accept that help,
right?
Which I doubt she would want to,
right?
But yeah, so it is tricky.
So It's been about a month since I last posted, and there have been a few small developments. The most notable thing is that my boyfriend and I, along with his family, have had several serious conversations about how to move forward. But first, some more information on how his mother has been behaving over the last month. She went on a spree of verbally attacking me, both via text to me and via text to his family members. She threatened to sabotage our recent trip to my hometown to see my family, which I'd been looking forward to for months, as we hadn't been all together in 3 years. She also made lots of petty comments and insults about me, not limited to my lack of talent. I am in a creative profession. And my boyfriend's stupidity for being with someone like me. Basically, she's super pissed with her current situation, with her current station in life, and I am the privileged individual who gets the blame. She also contacted my boyfriend's brother to let him know that she was writing his 7-year-old daughter out of her will and taking away her college fund. This has been done about 24 times because she spent time with me and enjoyed it versus not being happy when spending time with her. Wow. She's like, what would possibly be her reasoning to why that could happen besides the truth?
Yeah.
Like what? How does it make sense in your brain? Like, what would she be doing? Like sabotaging her and being like, you had more fun with her.
Well, she's super
than
paranoid,
me.
it seems.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is something that would take a lot of help to deal with. A lot of time, a lot of therapy, and whatever else.
And a little bit of luck.
Yes. I have blocked her from every social media platform, email, phone, and text. My boyfriend's brother has taken a placating approach by simply responding with okay whenever she texts versus engaging. Outside of the verbal aggression, she has backed off. She used to call my boyfriend at a frequency of several times a week, which he admits was a cumbersome, exhausting burden because he felt obligated to listen to her 30-minute angry diatribes about whatever drama was happening in her world. She hasn't called him in 2 months, and it has been glorious. Regarding the upcoming holidays, we sat down with his other family members here and decided how to move forward. We are all in agreement that we will not spend Thanksgiving or Christmas with his mother. We have made plans to travel out of town for both Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we're very much looking forward to the mini excursions. At this point, his mother would have likely contacted us about Thanksgiving plans, but in her anger since the PCH fiasco, she hasn't attempted to do so. I am not sure if she will reach out about Christmas, but if she does, then we will relay our current plans and take it as we go. In addition to family-wide conversations about the holidays, we have talked extensively about his mother's mental health and the best ways to move forward. In my state, there is a law that allows you to file a court-ordered mental health evaluation, and it only takes one person to file the application. That is not an option we have ruled out, especially since she is clearly hurting and mentally unwell and could benefit greatly from a mental health check and medication. It is my understanding that one has been filed for her previously and the court found mental disorder, but she has ceased taking medication. If it were up to me, I would file the application yesterday, especially since she mentioned wanting to unalive herself in her last angry breath.
Yeah, she needs
lots of help,
like medical help, and yeah,
that's
psychiatric help.
Yes. Ultimately, though, I don't want to sidestep my boyfriend. But you know what I think should be court ordered is you guys finding more stories just like this on any of your podcast apps, Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Story Time.
And if you don't do that, we're suing you.
Yeah.
Don't make the rules.
Literally court ordered.
It's literally court ordered.
Yesterday.
You'll be receiving it in the mail.
But there is more to this story. Do we have any last thoughts before we move on, or should we just jump right in?
My final thought is that, I mean, like you're in love with your boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
But if it gets to a point, I think it's just like keeping an eye on this. And if it gets to a point where you are at risk or you are in danger and your boyfriend is not, standing up for you in the way that he needs to be.
Yeah.
Or you are put at the expense of your mother. His mother is put at the expense of you. Then maybe it's time to take a step back from this relationship.
Yeah.
So far, it doesn't seem like we've reached that, but keeping an eye on it.
Get in there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But there is a bit more. In the end, as a family, we have agreed that our lives are better when she's not in it, and that ultimately she is happier too, since everything we do, even planning a lifelong dream trip for her, causes her great distress in the end. We'll just have to take this one day at a time, but things have been calmer generally, and I'm looking forward to the holidays instead of feeling anxious about them for the first time in 3 years. Well, there you go. That's the end. Seems like they're reaching good.
You're gonna have a good Christmas
solution.
Yeah,
It seems like it is getting a little better.
I think so.
Yeah, so that's great. I think you guys are
Love to
handling
see
it very nicely.
Me too.
Very nicely. But yeah, that's the end of the story.
My mother pressured me to give my car to my sister. Then she sold it?
Why would you do such a thing? Why?
I've been watching a lot of OK Storytime on YouTube and have been reminded a lot about some things my mom has said to me throughout the years and also done. Little backstory. I'm currently 29 and happily married. My wife's job has afforded me the ability to have good health care, including counseling for mental issues. We have been planning on having kids soon. A few years ago, I thought it would be a good idea to sort myself out. By the way, this comes from Deleted on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So I've been doing really good with it and organizing a lot of my past. I always thought things weren't that bad for me, and I had a good family and good life. But while sorting through the memories, my therapist and I have definitely identified trauma, mostly by my mother.
It is hard. Like, I've done therapy before where it's like sometimes you're not ready to hear stuff and you don't want to hear it. And then it's like after you digest it a little bit, you're like, that is right.
To put it simply, my younger sister is her favorite. I'm not sure if it's because she never wanted a boy or because she sees all men as evil. It's a little ironic because I grew up without religion and her dad had always said I would go to heck because I'm not baptized. But she sees my gender as an original sin of sorts. Kind of effed up. So about 6 years ago, I just graduated college and had my car repossessed since I was out of a job. My grandmother, mom's mom, had given me $2,000 to buy myself a car, partly as a graduation gift and partly because I really needed help. Since my wife was in school and hadn't actually started working yet, she's a military officer, I was trying to pay my own bills with no steady work and a degree that was useless. My dad, who has really had a rough time of it, causing a lot of my family's financial hardships, put his godlike skills at buying and selling cars into helping me find a decent junker I could use. Since he didn't work, he spent a lot of time with me teaching me a lot of his trade, so I research cars, negotiate, and come away paying a good price for something that steers and stops. I ended up buying a 98 Honda Accord for about $800, a great deal from the $12,000 asking price. It had a broken windshield and the radio was missing out of it. Not to mention the door handle was broken on the driver's side, so it was difficult to open. It turned out to be a great car. The engine and transmission were solid, and I invested the rest of my $2,000 for my grandma to fix the windshield, buy a new stereo, and buy a new handle. After a week of tinkering, I was super proud of this little trooper of a car for what it was, and I loved it. So we fixed it up. He could probably resell that car for $2,000.
I was going to say, though, I hope you didn't spend all that $2,000 on those restorations. You did not need to spend $2,000 on the windshield, the radio, and the door not opening. Just let you know.
Fast forward or so, I got married. My wife had bought a car for herself after graduation, and we were going to be stationed out east while she went for a master's degree. I was excited to get out of my hometown, and now realize I was more excited to get away from my mother. Ooh. My mom was going to miss me, but she was excited for me until I told her I was planning to bring my car out east with me. My sister lived with my parents at the time and had no car, but she did have a job and often got rides from me, my parents, or her friends. My mom and dad shared a vehicle, but my dad didn't work, so their transportation situation wasn't the worst. My mom didn't share the sentiment and started in on the hints they could use my car. The city we were moving to would make 2 cars redundant and inconvenient. My car wouldn't make it out there anyway. All her standard manipulative moves to convince me what she wanted was the right thing and my sister needed a car for work.
Mind manipulation.
And I don't know if he saw it at that point, the manipulation and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it was probably post-event that he realized this.
For a while, I pondered if it was a am I the a-hole kind of story, but just wait until the end. One day during one of the shuffle where I had to pick up my mom and my sister at the same time because my dad was running errands, they cornered me in their driveway. Mom, your sister needs your car and you have no use for it. I get that, but it's my car. I could use the money from selling it.
I can't get to work without a car, and without you helping us, I'll get fired.
Why not buy my car? I'll sell it to you for what I bought it for. It's worth way more than that now.
That's not fair to us. We don't have that kind of money to spend. We need your help.
It went on like this, each of them getting more frantic and not listening to my logic. I tried to defend myself and brought out how I'd been able to buy a car when I was 16 using my own money. I pointed out that if my sister saved rather than spent her money, $800 wouldn't be that hard to come up with. They both got offended at the mere suggestion, and both of them started to cry. Again, I wasn't very experienced with manipulation at the time, so it didn't come across as obvious that they were using appeals to emotion to sway me.
I feel that, brother. You can low-key get me with that pretty easy. That's why I'd be really scared to have a kid, because a kid could get away with anything, bro. If the kid just like learned how to make me feel bad for it, oh my God, bro, that kid could get anything, dude. The fact that OP offered that car for $800 should be an automatic non-issue.
No, that should be, oh, thank you, of course.
I don't want to say as anyone with a job, you should be able to afford that, because it's like everyone has their own financial burdens or whatever. But $800 for an automobile is 100% doable for someone who's trying to just to save a little money.
Even, sister, hey, I can afford that. Could I pay you like, $50, $100 a month for this?
Right, exactly.
He'd probably say yes.
We just helped my cousin get a car, and that was literally the deal. Because we will help you with this. You will pay it back at X amount of dollars per month. And she was like, yes. And now she has a car, and she's paying it back. You get the car? Great. You get to learn how to pay money back? Double great.
Fantastic. After about an hour-long argument and them screaming at me, I relented. I told them my sister could have the car, and I gave her the title the next day. As the years passed, I figured, what the heck? It's my sister, and I love her, so why not help them out? It's not like I really needed the money anyway, since my wife makes more than enough. I even helped my sister with some repairs when I came to visit. I changed out the crappy aftermarket wheels with steel ones from the junkyard. I fixed the AC, blower motor, changed her CV axles. That car was a good little trooper, and it stayed in the family, so whatever.
I just remembered a very sad, tragic tale.
Oh, what is it?
I remember when a young Samuel Donner, he wanted to join the cool kids, but instead of labeling you as one of the cool kids,
They called me Salad Boy because I ate nothing but salads. Could not trade my lunch for a lunch bowl, really anything.
You know what community will always welcome you with open arms, Sam?
And make you feel like a cool kid?
The great people who have OK Storytime memberships.
Oh, I heard that 60 plus hours of members only content Monday, Wednesday, Fridays.
You heard right, Sam, and it's only $5 a month.
So go to the link in our description, youtube.com/OKOP show/join. Now back to the story.
Chomp, chomp.
That is until about a year ago. She called me one day and told me she sold it for $2,000 and turned around to buy herself a new car.
The red flag. Big old red flag. Your family is manipulating you into trying to make their lives easier.
That is insane. Consideration for your brother that helped you out?
No, of course not. He's a tool that they use to get what they want.
I will sponsor another creator. There's this guy called, I think his name's Caleb, and he does financial audits for couples and like people. Caleb Hammer. There's this one episode coming out right now where basically the kids are saving money to give to the parents because the parents want the kids to think that they should invest in their parents, so they have to pay rent and stuff like that. And he just goes off on them. He's like, that's not what kids are there for. You're supposed to invest in them. And he just goes off on them. And it feels like that right now, that they use one of their kids for money. That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's a very, very stinky thing to do.
I told her good job, that she flipped it for a great profit, but I couldn't help but feel mad about it. After a while of processing the feelings, I realized why I was pissed. She had taken the charity I had given her, the hard work I put in to keep it driving and to fix it up. She had sold it, making 100% profit on it and using that money for herself. I never got a dime. It's like I threw that $2,000 from my grandmother away. Like I took it, set it fire 6 years ago. And only now do I realize that this has been going on for years with my mom and sister.
Well, now you see the light. Once you see the light, that's the hardest part, is seeing the truth when you've had the wool over your eyes for so long.
So bright out here. Holy cow. I didn't realize how bad this was. So many effed up memories from childhood, all of which revolved around me having something and it being taken away because my mom didn't know how to properly communicate or just wanted to make it fair for my sister, who's always lived the easy life. And yet, she's the one who has self-diagnosed depression and anxiety. I love them both. It makes it easier that I don't live near them now. We got to edit.
I can confidently say if I had my first car baby, I didn't really have like a first car that was like my baby. Yeah, I put like a bunch of work into or anything. But with this context, and given everything I was told where it's like, we need this car or she's getting fired or we're going to, whatever, blah, 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 blah. As soon as the car gets sold, first I'm pressing the issue. I'm not going, congratulations, sister. I'm going, do you have something else lined up? The car that you said that you absolutely needed, you just sold it. So what's going on? And then as soon as I find out, oh no, I don't know. I just wanted to make the money. Gone. You're not getting a thing from me ever again. Like, especially if that was like grandma's car in a way where it's like grandma's money is what paid for the car. And then you just give it away. You and me are done professionally.
Oh my gosh.
And this was the moment where he realized, like, oh, I've been abused like this my whole life. I've just been, like, made out to be a tool.
Edit. First off, it's really escalated quickly. I've never had a post get so much attention. Thank you for all your support and insight. Blah, 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 blah. It's probably hyperbolic to say I was forced to give my car to my sister. It's more like I felt forced because of a lot of family history. My family has always been blown apart since my father's family are from a foreign country. But my mom's family has always had a really unhealthy relationships. She doesn't talk to her sister and only started talking to my grandmother after I finished high school. I have deep-seated fear for my children to grow up the way I did with family problems and people not speaking to one another. So because of this, I feel like I have to say yes to my mother to prevent history from repeating itself. Also, a few of you asked about my father, so I'd figure I'd give some more info. He's a very good salesman, like really good. Many, many years of experience and made our family very wealthy through elementary school and junior high. But then financial troubles came in, partly self-inflicted by my dad, but partly because of the housing bubble crash in 2008. He spiraled into depression after moving away from us to find better work and developed a substance abuse habit. This drained any savings they had because his only thought was getting more substances to chase away the pain. Plus his mother, again, who lived overseas, developed Alzheimer's. And this made things worse for him. But your day could get better than this if you search up OK Storytime on your favorite podcast platforms. Just go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen, and search up OK Storytime for your day to get better. So that kind of explains his thought process whenever he was younger and more vulnerable with his mom and sister. I don't think he did anything wrong. Like, he shouldn't have gave the car away. They cornered him.
And this is it reads like a story where it's like, I've seen the light now. And it's like, this is a story from before I saw the light. It's like, this is the story that made me see the light.
But left of this story, he has been recovering for a long while and even got back into the business after he got clean. But a series of crappy dealership owners have destroyed what little confidence he had left. The way I see it, after making my mom have a comfy life for so many years where she didn't work at all, he deserves the retirement he ruined. Don't get me wrong, he's not a saint, but he's the only one that cheered for me or tried to make things truly fair between my sister and me. In a way, he's the only parent I truly love, so I probably make excuses for him. That's the end of that story.
I was very aware there where it's like, I probably know where my excuses are coming from here.
Yeah, years of therapy to get to this point.
Dude, that's crazy. I wonder how many families went through a similar thing like that. That seems like a really strange portrait of like families like post economic crash in 2008, and then it's like right at the same time with like the everything going on with like opiates and stuff and like that. How many people had like a thriving life where it was like I'm crushing it in the housing market and like all this stuff? housing bubble pops. Now all of a sudden, you know, oh, I have an injury or something, and now I'm hooked on the little round boys.
I had family members that dealt with that, and it was a very interesting life to live with them, not really understanding what they were going through.
And from the very beginning, the Sacklers deserve to be penniless, and all of their money needs to go to the victims of the drug that they said was going to basically fix every problem in the world in terms of pain management, and like that it wasn't addictive and all this stuff. It's like they deserve the 8th circle.
But that's the end of that story.
I told my sister's boyfriend my life is none of his business. He keeps judging me because I'm not a stay-at-home mom.
Well, why don't you mind your own beeswax?
Boom. Roasted. So I, female 22, have an older sister, female 28. She has 4 kids and she loves being a mom and wants to be a stay-at-home mom. And I encourage her to do whatever she wants. By the way, this comes from user appropriatefood5858, and you can submit your stories to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So she herself understands that I have no desire to be a mom right now, if not ever. I have 2 other older sisters who are like me, who don't want to be a stay-at-home mother. This is important to the story. Her boyfriend is mad at me, boyfriend male 27, because he asked me when I'm going to settle down, and that he can introduce me to his friend, male 25, who wants a stay-at-home wife. I told him no, that I don't want to date anyone this year, and he got mad at me for some reason and asked me why. So I told him my ex-boyfriend left me with trust issues. My ex cheated on me for 6 months into a 3-year relationship. He told me we broke up in 2023 and I should start getting back out there. And I told him it's not his business, and he dropped it. 2 days ago, he asked me if I wanted to be a stay-at-home wife and mother. And I told him no, that I don't, and I'm not even sure I want kids, let alone to get married. He got defensive since his mom was a stay-at-home wife and mom. And I told him I don't see anything wrong with being a stay-at-home mom, but I don't personally want to depend on a man for anything. And once again, he got defensive and said not all men are the same. He said my sister wants to be a stay-at-home wife and mom, and I told him congratulations on finding that out with my sister, but I once again do not want to be a stay-at-home mom. He got mad because he overheard my conversation about me getting an IUD as well and told me I'm ruining God's plan to make me a mom one day. And I told him whether I want kids or not is not his business. He got mad at me and told me to get out of his home. So I did. My older sister's asking me to apologize to him and to not get an IUD, since if I get pregnant, that it's God's plan. And she also told me I should reconsider being a stay-at-home mom. I told her not everyone has that dream, and she accused me of not respecting stay-at-home mothers or wives, which is nothing but lies.
Opie's just like, I don't want to do that. And she's like, you hate me?
Yeah.
Opie's like, no, it's just not my thing.
These people don't seem to be able to let other people be different in any way.
No, they're like, if you're not like us, you're Satan's spawn, and you're going to HE double hockey sticks.
Indeed.
Everyone knows God only likes one type of person.
And it's housewives.
Yeah. That's it.
Who stay at home.
He's really into Desperate Housewives.
My 2 other older sisters are on my side and said my sister's boyfriend shouldn't be concerned with how I live my life, and that if I don't want to depend on anyone for the rest of my life, that's my choice. He also said I'm gonna go to HE double hockey sticks for being bi. So I screamed that I guess his girlfriend, my sister, is also going there because she's bi as well.
Dang.
Which he already knew about.
Did he not think that through?
I guess not.
He was
really
like,
didn't.
No, they're gonna make an exception because she's a stay-at-home mom.
Well, yeah, he's like, that's why I'm trying to tell you that you need to be a stay-at-home mom.
And marry a man because then it cancels out.
It cancels out the sin of being bi. It's all written down. Have you read the Bible?
You don't go to heaven, but you do go to purgatory.
Wait, the Bible? Oh, I think did we just do a Da Vinci Code right now?
We just freaking cracked it.
Are we freaking Dan Brown up in here?
Yeah.
Now, their friends are calling me an a-hole, saying that he only cares about what I do with my body since it's God's body, and I should respect it and become a mom soon. So am I the a-hole for telling my sister's boyfriend it's not his business if I don't want to be a stay-at-home wife or mom?
No,
and you need different friends.
You need just a different family. You need different people in your life. You need to give him a Bible and just write on the front of it, just underline bi, and then cross out bull and just write mind your own business.
Yeah. Bye. Mind your own business.
Bye.
Bye.
That's it.
Bye, comma,
Bye.
boy.
Yeah. Bye, boy.
Bye, boy.
And there you
boy,
have it.
Bye.
And that's my advice to you.
Edit to clarify, I did put this in the comments, but 3 out of her 4 kids aren't even his. My sister has a 7, 4, 3, and soon to be newborn. Edit number 2, I also get asked this a lot about why I was discussing getting an IUD to my sister's boyfriend. I wasn't discussing it to him. Me and my 3 sisters were all discussing it at his house, but he wasn't there. He walked in when I said I was thinking of getting an IUD, and that's when he butted into the conversation. And as soon as he said, God's body, not my body, me and my other 2 sisters started talking to him about it, and he raised his voice, so I raised mine, and eventually we left, since I don't like conflict.
All those religious people forgot the whole point of God is giving us free will.
Yeah.
That's like his whole thing. And so we can exercise the free will.
Yeah, check this out. Free
Why
will
don't you
check.
read the Bible.
Free will check.
Whoa.
Spun my hat all the way around. Why? I don't know. I have free will.
Got free will.
Got free will.
What are you going to do about
Sorry.
that?
Oops. What are you going to do about it? Nothing.
Brother-in-law.
Because I got free will, baby.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got some comments here.
Yeah.
Natural Inevitable 50 says, this guy sounds like a creep. Who is he to dictate what you do with your life, your career, and your body? I hope your sister knows about this and supports you, not the a-hole. OP responds, my sister, who is with him wholeheartedly, supports him, and that I should be a stay-at-home mom. She wants me to apologize to keep the peace, but I told her I'm done keeping the peace. He also supports the termination ban, which is his opinion. Me, on the other hand, I'm pro-choice. He wants a national ban for every instance, which makes me more nervous to be in a room with him. She also supports this. Leela Lolly Love says, not the a-hole. His views on stay-at-home moms and traditional gender roles are his own, and he shouldn't be imposing them on you. Actual Spell 4634 says, he's not really that traditional. He's not married to the mother of his child. Ooh, Good Intelligent 2867. People are, quote, traditional only when it's convenient to them. Not the a-hole was the judgment. However, we got an update.
I don't know. Yeah, my only thought is that
Very
this guy is
clear-cut.
a hypocrite and an a-hole.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to be around him either. Keep your mouth to yourself, dude.
And it's like, why, how come sometimes, like,
The rules don't apply to you.
yeah, I don't, like, can't it just be, like, all cool, like, love thy neighbor and stuff? Why
Yeah,
you gotta
can't
then
we
also
listen-
be like,
Can't you listen to the first thing in
Yeah.
your religion?
can't you just, like, actually follow, like, the cool parts that are being taught instead of just being like, God hates you if you're not a
Yeah.
stay-at-home mom?
Yeah.
That's a wild take.
Like, I don't know. Guys got to read the New Testament
Yeah.
because Jesus was doing a lot of loving in that testament. And that's all I got to say.
Looking like it was like Woodstock in the New Testament. There's so much love going on.
Oh,
Oh, everybody.
what's
Oh,
going on? That's all I got to say.
Did he flip those tables in that
Yeah.
in the New Testament?
Yeah.
Oh, he got mad flipping them tables.
Yeah,
over.
because he was a freaking
He was
radical socialist. And he
"What
was
the
like, hey, you
how-
can't be selling things in this house.
Yeah, don't be selling
Anti-capitalism.
these anti-idolatry capitalist principles.
Yeah.
I haven't read the Bible. Anyway, update. So here we go. This is the update. Woohoo! I already knew I was going to go no contact with her boyfriend as I don't feel safe around him, but I went ahead and called my sister to tell her and why I chose no contact. And she is now super mad at me, saying I overreacted and all that fun stuff. So I asked her if they were going to apologize. She said they don't owe me an apology. I owe him an apology. He overheard us on the phone and once again got into the conversation, and I told him I have nothing to say to him. He told me he wanted to know an answer to 2 of his questions. Why I don't want to be a stay-at-home mom. I told him it's really none of his business, and to stay in his lane. Why I don't want to date or marry his friend. Told him that he isn't my type and never will be, and did not talk to me again. I bet you he doesn't listen.
Yeah.
That's my money. My money's on him
I'm going to put money on that
talking to you.
too. Double down on that.
He told me if I don't stop overreacting, I won't have anything to do with my nephews and niece. And that, I'm not going to lie, got to me. And I told him for my mental health, I'm done being around and talking to him. And my sister said, okay, you made your choice and now we'll make ours. So now I'm no contact with both of them. Also found out my dad found out yesterday and this morning after I was on the phone with them, he went and yelled at Josh and told him to back off. Nice.
Yes.
And that his daughter wasn't for sale or anything like that. Yeah, nice. Ooh, and they got into a fist fight. Oh, and I mean,
wait, read the next line.
and apparently my dad won.
Hey,
Yay.
hey.
Quite literally, W father.
WWE
If you had to
father.
put one in the W or the L column, you put OP's dad in a W.
Yep. Yup.
Mhm.
Sucks to suck. Maybe if you were closer to God, he would have helped you win.
Yeah, maybe
Maybe.
God would have infused himself into that straight right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure about that, though, about the W. Oh, okay, well, you know what I'm sure about? I'm sure that you can listen to full episodes with stories like this. All you have to do is go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts from and search OK Storytime.
Yeah.
And
Just do it.
and it's about as easy as it gets right there.
Ain't nothing easier.
And you can listen to us for thousands of hours.
Forever.
Forever. Forever.
But there is a little bit more to the story.
There's a little bit more left. Let's just go ahead and finish it.
Yeah,
Now,
because I honestly
clearly these
think the no
people are-
contact, good idea.
Right. It's time to move on. You are better without these people in your lives. They're anyone who wants to just like control you and put you in a little box. That's not good. So
No bueno.
let's continue. My dad called me and apologized and asked me personally why I don't want to be a stay-at-home mother. So I told him the reason, which had to do with my dad and stepmom. He apologized to me, saying that he never meant to do that to her. He was very abusive to her, but never apologized for it. So interesting. Father's got issues.
Ooh, so
Maybe
maybe
less
not
of a
full
W.
of a W.
Let's rescind that and go back to neutral.
Neutral.
Neutral. So I decided to cut off my sister and her boyfriend, which sucked because I won't be able to see my niece and nephews anymore. But my mental health and physical health is more important to me. TBH.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Comments. OP says, there is one more thing that was said that I forgot to mention. So in my last post, there was so many people telling me to ask him when he's going to marry my sister since they're not living in God's plan. So I asked him. His response was, it's not my business to know. To which I said, then it's not his business to know anything about what I do with my body and who I date and all that. He got angry with me and proceeded to cuss me out.
Oh, but
Sounds
OP,
about
you
the standard
don't
response, yeah.
understand because you're a woman. You're a woman, so
No.
anything that he does is okay because
Right.
he's a man.
Yeah, that's the missing ingredient, see? Missing ingredient.
Yeah,
Not a man.
not a man.
Missing ingredient. He got angry with me and proceeded to cuss me out. I honestly just laughed. New fishing, $25.96. So it's his business to know about yours. Quiet Moon, $21.91. It's like he's trying to groom her to be a sister wife or a communal wife with his friend. Yeah, creepy. Healthy Brain, $53.54. He probably promised his mate that he could have the sister.
Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah, that's gross. And that's the end of that story.
Well, what a fun thing to end on.
If you want more stories like this, search for our podcast, OK Storytime, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.